Unclean tabs. Yep, that's true. I was meant to do that today.
So tomorrow, other than having a nap.
And we're up to session 42.
Woo!
Speaking of naps.
It's okay, we all need it for various reasons. So, you are
Actually, you made it today.
You did make it today. Well, maybe the last one in person for a little while.
Yeah.
We'll see how you go. We have Secrets of Roderic Cove that you're currently doing some storyline with.
Yay!
We got to see a ghosty figure last session.
Which made all but Harry shit their pants.
Yeah, the entire party got frightened and ran
The
away.
buffest wizard known to man.
Missed out by one.
Scared by no one.
And we even had some critical fails.
I think it was interesting that Kroll was the only one that saw it, but everyone else should have had to compare Harry. So.
Well, it did have an aura effect after he yelled it out. You got to see what had happened. Everyone else went, woo! And ran.
You're like, this goes, and everyone else is just like, what the fuck was that scream?
And then Harry just turns around and goes, what ghost? Where? What? Where did everyone go?
Where did everyone go?
So, tonight at the game, we'll start off with Peter.
I am the Scooby of the...
I'm playing Willy One Kenobi. I'm currently back in town, waiting for my splintered fingers to heal.
Well, from what everyone knows.
Yeah.
Plotting my revenge on the Church of Calistria.
For fixing your hands?
For stealing, abducting, and assaulting me.
At which point they will say their job is done and send you on your way.
I already left. I left them.
Did they take the bars out?
Yeah, they would have taken that out.
Okay, good.
That would have been hilarious. Like, no, I refuse to get these out by you people.
I'm pretty sure at one stage, which we actually tried when you dropped out, we tried to find your clothes, we couldn't find them, and we're like, this is going to be interesting. I really wanted for you to go, I've done my duty, and just walk out with pins in your hands and butt naked into the...
Yeah. That's exactly what I did.
A few hours ago.
Minus the fact you don't have pins in your hands anymore. Martin's given you that one.
Well, I would never have gone back to the church to have them removed.
Well, you hadn't left the church with them in there. They didn't. They said you couldn't leave until you had them removed.
So they held you captive.
Yes.
Add it to your list.
This is why you're in a cell, because they know you.
No, I went into the cell. I chose to go in there.
Yeah, but now they're not letting you out of said cell.
It was Paris cell.
So yes, you will be showing up the next day looking very much disgruntled at the affront to your personal space. Wearing what looks to be a drapery instead of your clothing.
Pair of second-hand pants.
One size too small?
I'm prepared to take what I can get.
You went to the Kobold second-hand store.
That's what's required.
Got mother's favourite pie. Made out of mother.
Next up we have Josh.
I'm playing the buffest wizard known to man, Parry Hotter. Thought he made a mistake, but in the end realised that what's said not what not. Didn't know anything what happened over there.
Each religion believes their own things. The Church of Aristal would have condemned you for your actions and required you make some form of restitution to the families. The Church of Calistria really want you to tell the families how much you kicked them in the nuts and walked away.
Yep. And obviously the strongest willed in the group as everyone literally shat their pants running away. Other than Willie, who was still stuck in the wheelport.
Yeah, you missed out on the scary ghost.
Scary Ghost went boo and everyone just went black except for Parry. And me and who was it? The sage.
The sage and the elf.
Yeah, the sage and the elf were there going wimps.
They met another elf that made an impression on them.
Yeah.
Because when they were talking to her, they found out she was raised by humans. So she has this woe is life sort of attitude because everyone she knew who raised her died centuries ago.
Oh, that's right. I'm on a long date with her.
Everything that
Great.
she knows has been around has died. She came from real blood. And she was there not long after it found it.
Think of Moaning Myrtle, basically.
But a living person like that.
Yes.
Because everyone she knows is dead.
Mm.
And or dying or will die before she even notices they're around. And could you imagine the person who's babysat you your entire life dying before you're old enough to even recognize them properly? So everyone who raised her died before her adulthood.
Going through 7 or 8 people.
She's gone through generations of families raising her.
Yeah. Feel like you get all those vampire movies. Yeah. I watched John grow up. He was my son. And then he had kids, and I watched them grow up. And I watched them, and then so on and so on.
It's
exactly
the beginning
like
of Up all over again.
And there's been many a trope about that. So she is, and that's what they say is one of the things that happens to owls who grow up away from Melbourne society, is they have this form of innate depression, because everything around them just reminds them of everything they've lost.
Yeah. It's like, why would I? It's like with a pet. You know, if you have a cat and you've gone through 4 or 5 cats, you're like, oh, every time my cat dies, it breaks my heart. You know, do I really want to have another cat? So you're like, you know, why would I want to meet a human or hang out with humans that just die so early?
That's the picture of what she looks like.
Yeah, it's not a good expression.
No. And that was her happy face.
And that's her being happy. What?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
That was the most emotion she showed. She was very much deadpan after that. And then we have M. I thought I'd wait for you because you were drinking at the time.
Ooh, that's so good. I'm playing Druza, and I have Puppy.
You are definitely bygone this session.
I'm definitely bygone this session.
I can't believe that the imbeciles who were doing that in the alternate Friday one made that such an interesting impact on the party. Every time they worshipped their deity, they would stick their arm up like this and go bygone. And I just worked it into every conversation I was doing, because every time they said bygone, their arm would go up and do this. They would just do it automatically without even thinking, because that was their devotion. Instead of doing that sort of thing, it was always like that. And it took about half a session before the player started doing it back.
And due to being flexed on armor is also now coming to fruition.
So Stefan and myself on the alternate Fridays are the ones that
Next, I don't say the bygone.
You just did the
I don't know, yeah, you hear bygone and then you just do the flex.
So if you're wondering,
Would you be able to heat it up some more,
that,
Stefan?
there's a good reason.
It's still a bit cold.
Oh, sorry.
These ones sort of need the minute and a half to 2 minutes.
Oh, let me put this one, these coffees down, and I'll reheat that for you.
That would be fantastic.
Yes.
And while you're here, I might get you to introduce yourself first before reheating.
Hello, I am Kroll, the coffee medic.
Much needed coffee.
Yes. Era still is, I think, still okay with me, but he's going to give me a funny look at the moment. Shit. That's okay?
Yeah, it's all good. I don't think that goes out much further. It otherwise would be full.
We also have Morgan sitting out tonight because he's ill, unfortunately.
Oh, really?
To the point where he can't really talk. So, no Skype for him.
Keep that plague away.
No super spreader. What?
But don't worry, you'll have an even better super spreader soon.
Yes.
Pretty much.
Yeah, yes. No fire is going to stop me from getting icky things off that thing.
Yum.
Don't you wish you had the actual precipitation spell?
Yeah, that would be really useful.
Clean, baby.
Yes, that's happening. If not this weekend, sometime before
Next
or
game.
on Thursday.
Definitely before next game.
Definitely before this game.
Latest will be Thursday.
So being booked in to be introduced between Monday and Thursday next week. So It's happening.
There's no take backs.
No.
You can't say return to sender.
Yeah, no, well that can't happen anyway. Not really. The stalk is well and truly fucked off.
That's it.
Well, you gotta have your humour when you do these things.
Yeah, the like number one question this week has been like, "Are you nervous? Are you nervous?" And I'm like,
Fuck off.
"No."
The more you ask that question, yes.
Yes, yeah.
I think I may have overheated it now, I'm sorry.
That's fine. It's hot. It's better than you going, it's almost like it came out of the fridge.
Yes, sorry about that.
The potato required nearly 2 minutes to heat up properly, whereas the chicken only required about 30 seconds.
Yeah. Maybe next time I'll take it out and do it separately.
There shouldn't be that much left of it.
Yes, definitely, probably. Depending on what day of the week it is, I might be on Skype on Friday next week, or if it's happened on Thursday, probably not.
Well, depending on
We'll
what's
be able to
happening...
Skype in. We'll be able to Skype in. It's from the hospital.
Yeah, it
Wait,
Depends
wait,
on how
Depends.
drugged up you are.
Yeah, it depends on what's actually happened.
Might be an interesting game.
That'd be great.
Shoot the darkness!
Yeah. Hi, my name's Amy. I'm playing Saul.
I'm just yelling at a high way.
I'm saying
And look, I've got this little thing I call Puppy.
I got this little thing called morphine.
Yay.
Imagine the people next to you, like, I take my foot and I break their skull in, and then
It's, it's probably lucky you're not playing the horror game from hospital. Because as we go into some of the discussions about how horrific things are going to be, we might be having people go, what?
What?
And the plague outbreaks. What?
Thankfully, the birthing rooms are individual rooms.
That's good, at least.
I think the before rooms are paired, but yeah.
And probably the after rooms as well.
Yeah, but I don't think they're more than 2 in TCH.
Always need to make sure I have this page open.
Yeah, no more than 2.
Yeah.
Which is good.
So yeah, I might creep out one person.
So the two of you run into Willie coming off the boat with red marks all over his body, like little dots. And no bandages. And really tight shorts.
It's got to be the first time for everything.
And that they're a bit sparkly too. As well as what appears to be some sort of curtain wrapped around his upper body.
Ah, Kobold's second-hand store, I see.
Mother's favorite drapes.
Unfortunately, Perry's not there at the moment. But these guys come running up to you. Apparently you were missed.
Was I?
This is after you basically saw the ghost and ran from it.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep. Yep.
So to your appearance, they'll come running up to you, seeing you come here,
Run past.
and then run right past. Splash!
Yeah, it's like being chased by something. I'm like, what?
And then there's nothing behind them.
Oh, walk over there into the dock and...
You basically come out of your fright in the water.
Right.
those two do.
Yep. With Willie standing over the top of you.
And will help.
Yeah, give us a hand, please.
Yeah. Reach
Do you
down.
not have a swim?
Well, you got a crawl to hang on to.
Oh, yeah, that's...
yeah, that's got to
And as you look up, you can see Poppy stick his head over the wharf and look down at you.
Mm-hmm.
Tail wagging, bum wiggling.
Yeah.
You know what's going to happen next.
Yeah, I'm gonna get dark bomb by bloody door. Cannon fur.
Okay, where you go. Splash!
Yep.
Oh, wet dog.
Of course, he aims perfectly and lands on Crow.
Have to roll to swim now?
No. you just got to roll to avoid tongue.
Fine.
So while you're trying to swim, you've got this puppy trying to help you, all excited. And then there's Tail flipping water into his face.
Fine, he can doggy paddle, I'll just get on puppy. I'll point towards the dock and go. Battle.
Don't worry, he grabs you by the foot and drags you to the shore. He's helping.
Yeah.
You asked for this.
As you're like face down and going.
Luckily, it doesn't take that long to be dragged to shore by a puppy.
Yeah.
And he jumps on your back to help get any water out, even though you haven't got any water in there. But he's helping.
I'm helping.
And then once you sit up, he then shakes off.
That's fine.
1 point of bludgeoning damage every time.
Yeah, I'll try and get rid of any excess water in my clothing. So wringing it out.
As you finish wringing it out is when he does his shake and it's drenched.
Yep.
And you wring it out again.
Yep.
And puppy looks so happy.
Best day
Sorry,
ever.
just bruised ribs.
That dog,
best day
if
ever.
anything, is going to be a sponge.
Yeah, that's why I shook out.
Spongy dog.
He floats well.
We went for a walk in the rain, just to the shops with the dog. And as the dog came in, I've gone off to the bedroom, I've come out and I've seen these spray marks all over the floor, all up the side of the wall, and went, what the hell's happened? Oh, dog.
on top of like splodgy paw prints throughout the house.
Fucking sponge. Decided to dry off there.
Yeah, well, I might have you chat for a bit while I take some food into Arian. She doesn't want anyone else in the room. She's feeling a bit anxious.
Yep, sure.
You can get that when you're in high pain. It's the unfortunate thing of high pain.
Yep.
I'll say hi for me.
I will. Oh. I'm going to try not to pull things down again.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of what was it? One of the old Dulux adverts for. Paint.
Oh yeah, the big,
Supposed to be dog resistant or whatever.
big mop that comes in covered in mud.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
everything else. And you just like use all the chucks just to go. Meow, look, it's
Yeah.
all bright and shiny
And
again.
you can just wipe it away. I don't think it works that way, but sure.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like how I don't know if it's a Glen 20 ad, but it's like can combat even COVID-19. You're like, wait, how the fuck are you actually allowed to make that claim?
I'm gonna use this insect repellent. I'm just gonna cover myself in Glen 20. Haha, I'm COVID immune.
Yeah, that
No. Just
Yeah, mate, like that shit.
that's exactly what the anti-vaxxers want you to believe, right?
I'm protected from COVID because I spray myself in Glen 20. Ah,
Yep.
I'm sure if they spray themselves internally with Glen 20, they'll be protected.
that's what we were just joking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking-
Dose that Glen 20.
Fucking Darwinism at its finest.
I think I'd just tell the anti-vaxxers, 2 sprays of WD-40 in the mouth a day will keep COVID away.
That's pretty much what Trump said.
Fucking hydrochloroquine IV is good for you, right? No, it's not.
No.
Especially hydroxyhydrochloroquine is not. It's like, oh, it just says hydroxy. I'm like, yeah, that's fucking weed killer. Don't put weed killer in your veins.
I love the one where someone describes the chemical components of an apple and this anti-vax goes, see, yeah, I'm not going to eat that shit. It's like,
No-
okay, so you don't eat
No
apples.
joke. 2 days after Trump said that, 2 people in New York, one ended up dying, the other one was in ICU for doing exactly that. They injected hydroxyhydrochloroquine into their veins. It's like, so they injected weed killer in their veins. It's like, yep. It's like, why? Because they listened to Sir Donald Trump.
I thought it was fish tank cleaner.
He said multiple things over the
Yeah.
years.
Yeah, he said any number of things, but basically a lot of it was like this is poisonous to humans if it's injected straight into your bloodstream, and people did it
Probably not
anyway.
those on those things.
Yeah.
No, so hydrochloroquine, if given in small amounts, is not deadly to humans. It can help with some certain things. I can't quite remember what it helps with.
But you have
However,
a dosage.
hydroxyhydrochloroquine, which is the weed killer and the insecticides and tank cleaner and all that kind of stuff, because it's got hydroxy in it, that's what kills you. But Americans go, oh, it's got hydrochloroquine in it. I'm just gonna.
Well, at least from a really twisted, sick point of view, suited for the horror game, he is culling the herd of the stupid people who voted him in.
Yep. It's the reason why he lost.
He lost too many supporters.
Yeah.
It's sad when you say things like that and it actually being true.
I also like the sentence. Oh, we can also inject ultraviolet light to stop people getting coronavirus. I'm like, okay, Donald Trump, how are you going to inject ultraviolet light into people's veins again?
I think he suffered from a lot of the same stuff that Ronald Reagan suffered as the president, but because Ronald Reagan didn't have tweets at the time, most people didn't make the connection. I can still remember all the crappy things he said on national television, and to be honest, he's not much different to Trump, except he wasn't as was it right wing as Trump is.
Yeah, right wing. Yeah. But then, you know, right wing and left wing wasn't quite as, I guess, defined or broad as it is now.
No, it's always been bad. It's just the extremism. The extremists generally don't make it into office.
It's interesting because probably back when Ronald Reagan came in, there was no right or left wing kind of.
No, I believe they had it back then too.
Well, so we've just been developing in terms of.
But they've had a big push of a lot of that stuff. A lot of the right wing try to claim their roots back to the Civil War and things like that.
Yeah.
Which is like a very short period in their history.
Yeah.
But I think it only went for less than a year, or maybe 5 years at most.
It was more than a year, but it was in terms of a Civil War very short.
But it is a major part of their
history,
declared heritage, not really their history.
Oh, right.
So when you say their history goes for like 200 or 300 years, and they're taking a 1 to 5 year point as being the critical juncture of their society, that's sort of a iffy thing.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas if you say that they've been building up to this, it's like they come and go away from it. I remember Clinton, when he was in the left and right wing, was not very extreme at all. The left and right wing was, which flavour do you want? and when you're looking at that, but when you had the extremists that I remember in the past, everyone else would get behind the less extreme person, and the extreme person pretty much was up against everyone else.
Right.
So going back to the game.
I was about to say, avoiding politics and back into
more
horror.
politics.
Yeah, into horror.
Horror politics.
Horror politics is
Yep. Fantastic, tongue-tied, bloody.
So the three of you catch up on the beach with you're watching the pile of water all around Coral.
One happy family.
So, how are your hands?
They actually work better than they've ever worked for a long time. Since you started breaking them.
Not bad.
Our medic must be doing something wrong then. I mean... Oh wait, never mind. I'm not there for you to hear that.
you hear on the breeze Harry's thoughts.
There is a difference between field dressing and surgical.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you keep breaking them so often.
He's kept it so you could function, but he hasn't fixed all the problems.
Like, if necessary, I could do like light surgery, but I couldn't do like super intense surgery.
You can recorrect a broken nose, that's about it.
Okay, so what are you guys wanting to do? Because you last thing you remember is you ran away from the market.
Go back to the market and
Yeah.
find out what the fuck happened.
You can see that there's nearly everyone, the entire market's deserted except for the old guy, just looking bemused as you wander up.
That's right, Parry's missing.
Where's Parry and what happened?
I said, well, he says this ghost went boo and everyone ran.
Yeah.
Except for the wizard who stayed talking to me and the elf. And then he went off on a date with the elf.
Of course, he went off for a date.
But it was interesting seeing all these big muscly people showing their muscles and stuff, and then go running away at the first sound from the founder of the
That's
town.
right, you shat yourself when you tried to flex last session.
Yep.
And
no, I ripped a huge fart.
and
You basically shat yourself. It was, my god, did that smell.
No. I would have shat myself if it was 1. It was a 2. So I didn't shit myself, but it was
damn close.
Yeah.
It smelled like you did.
it was enough that it was a tearjerker for everyone in the region.
Yeah.
So in that, I think you missed out on that. In that combat,
It wasn't even combat. We weren't even in initiative.
yeah, we were.
Were we?
She was intimidating people.
We were because we had the
Again.
goons.
Oh,
up against us.
that's right.
So one of them got nauseated, and I grabbed their leader and I said, "Take a big whiff around his derriere," and he just went,
Passed out. What happened to the dude that was passed out? Is he still passed out?
No, there's drag after he was
Yeah, that's right. He was dragged
Oh,
off
he was
by
dragged
the
off.
guards,
Who came afterwards?
the rainbow guards who look very weird and fancy like.
Yeah, this sounds weird.
That's right.
They're wearing like red tops with like purple and yellow bottoms or something like that. I can't remember exactly what they were wearing. They're wearing some weird clothing. Too
Well,
fancy for Parry's liking.
The weird ones were one of the gangs. There were 3 gangs. And the weird clothing was one of the
That's
gangs.
right.
So the town guards were sort of dressed up normally.
I don't think we saw that because we had run away by that point. But,
Oh, Perry did.
Parry did.
yeah, Harry did.
Parry sees everything. I see.
And the old guy says,
I didn't see the dead person though.
Audra Harney said that
I
she
saw
would
that,
wait
still red.
for you at the inn over there, having a meal. Which for an elf would probably take half the day. You know how elves are, he says.
Yeah, typical Harry.
If I should be
What?
Going on a date as soon as we get to a new town.
Hell yeah.
And it's an elf as well, so...
The dude just kind of like rolls his eyes at that, like, yeah, well, it's not surprising.
There's a line that Parry doesn't touch. Okay.
What's that, nose?
Tall, elven, and depressed. No.
Yeah, he's got that low.
So, Jules asked about this founder ghost thing. What the hell's up with that? And
Oh, it's the first time he's seen him appear. But apparently, he's scary because everyone ran away. He says, just looking at you.
yeah, I noticed.
It was fun watching everyone run.
I'm glad we were your daily entertainment.
Well, if I can get him to do it again tomorrow, that would be fantastic. It could be a daily entertainment. You want to come back and try tomorrow?
Not really.
Well, if we can get the same situation happening, I am a sage, so I do like to replicate my activities to make sure that they are repeatable. So it'll be an interesting thing if we can find all those ruffians and get them to participate. That might also be interesting. What do you think? And can you do one of those? Do you have any more of those stink pellets that you used?
No, that was a one-off.
Well, that makes it hard to replicate the events.
That
of
was
today,
lunch.
Because that was an amazing stink pellet you had. I've never had anything come across so horrific before.
Something died inside of Blizzard.
Yeah, but he apparently doesn't know that, so that's good. That was a one-off item. Guys.
Well, it says if you can find out who made it, that they might actually be able to make a fortune in stopping assaults and stuff like that. Could you imagine giving that to people? And
Do not bag your farts. Don't do it.
It'd be amazing if he turns around and goes, I lost my sense of smell years ago, but I smelled that.
No, just start bagging the dog's farts.
I'm just going to point it out, that's not a command I'm going to be learning. You can learn that one. I'm not learning
but
that
once
one.
he's trained, he backs up to someone, raises his tail, and what's happening?
From husky to skunk.
Can't tell if it's an upgrade or a downgrade.
I'm feeding him the special diet. Why? You'll find out.
Yeah, no
It
reason.
consists of eggs, beans,
Yeah, no reason.
high sulfur foods,
And vegetables. Why?
Brussels sprouts mainly.
No reason.
Brussels sprouts.
Alright, so he
And
points
asparagus for crawl.
and he points over to the place where he says you can catch up with them. Which I'll name once I look at the name again because it has been some time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, room number 8. It is the Creekside Tavern and Inn. I don't know why I had to look up the word Creekside Tavern and Inn because it really is very imaginative being right next to the creek.
Like a lot of named places
Oh god, yeah.
in this setting.
Well, not just in this setting. Do you know how many high streets there are in Australia? At least one per town.
Yeah.
Or one per district of a town.
Mhm.
So Melbourne had something like 20 odd high streets. Just Melbourne.
Yep. As well as all the little street name. Which are just basically like dodgy alleyways that have good coffee shops.
Well, they have good coffee shops now because people started hanging out in them, and so if you're hanging out in the alleyway anyway, let me give you something.
Pretty much.
And then COVID.
Did we catch this guy's name, the sage?
Okay, so he did actually give you his name. His name is Bima Coots, who everyone calls Possum, which is why he makes his possum punch.
Bima?
Yeah.
He offers
Bima
you
Coots.
something that looks like a ceramic jar with a stopper on it.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
That's right, I got a free one of those because I
And he
told him the
says,
story.
so are you up for the challenge today, laddie? He says, looking you up and down.
What challenge?
Tell me a story of something I haven't heard before, and you can have this free booze. So far, only one of your members have managed to do so. That's of course if you want free booze. Otherwise, it's a gold a pot. And if I don't like your story, then it's 5 gold a pot.
Iron will and smart. And also the buffest wizard known to man.
Guaranteed to bring tears to the eyes. Not quite like your friend over there with your stink pellet, but in a completely different way.
Unconscious.
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't you do that at Thistletop? Come on.
Well, in the cell.
Yeah. Everyone unconscious.
Just make everyone fucking pass out.
How'd you escape? Don't know. It just happened that our door opened mysteriously, and all our attackers left with a hell no, not coming back there sort of statement for no apparent reason.
Yep. Yep.
I'm sure that's how it could have happened.
I rolled poorly that day.
We still managed to kill people.
I did.
Shows you what rolling poorly can do for you.
Mm-hmm.
So is Willie up to the challenge of telling a story, or does he just want to pay 1 gold, or do you want to tell the story and pay 5 gold?
No, my character just goes, yeah, I'm good.
You are. You got lots of dots all over you. Is that some sort of botched surgery?
Ooh.
Just woke up, a couple of dots, no big deal.
Have you still got all your organs?
I hope so.
You're missing a kidney and a spleen.
Feeling about 500 grams lighter than I did yesterday, and sort of leaning to the left.
Well, he does have this story about a gnome who
I'm missing
can
half
actually
my
remove your
brain.
heart, and you can still live afterwards.
Oh yeah, I've heard that one. In fact, I saw that one.
So is he. It's horrifying.
Yeah, I've seen worse.
Did you ask what happened?
Tell me about it then.
Yeah, I'm good.
He looks you up and down and goes, yeah, you actually look like you're probably
Dietary.
had a few corrections lately.
So he's got no kibble.
How many surgeries have you had on those hands? It looks like 4 or 5 from the looks of things.
Just the one. Just the one.
Just the one? Must have been a lot of surgery then.
I don't know. It was my first one.
What's
I
your
don't know
first
what a
one?
lot is.
Well, a lot is generally, I'd probably say more than 4 would be a lot.
Well, then no. I've only had one.
Must have been a large one.
Again, I've only ever had one, so I don't know what large is versus small.
Well, it looks like you've got someone, an aspiring surgeon over there. Maybe he can help. I'm helping.
So Tank in the background. 14!
He's helping many times. Very useful.
So he sort of looks over, crawls. So he sort of sits standing off in the distance. So are you actually going to continue the surgery tradition on this guy?
Well, I don't do surgery, I'm a field medic.
It was one surgery to fix 5 mistakes.
Yes, basically he needed surgery to correct
What's up, Jerome?
destroying 5
What?
different situations of me trying to
Where are you,
brace
buddy?
his hands.
Well, that would explain it, he says.
Oh, hello.
He's now going to curl up in the blanket.
Yep.
He's safely just, well, I can't get to where I want, I'm going to go over here.
Yeah, exactly.
Either that or he's going to
I
stay down.
can't get into the room, so I'm now gonna look grumpy about it.
Yeah.
And then pretend no one else exists.
Yep.
Did I buy one of the moonshine stars?
You would intend, I think you had yes.
Either I intended to and didn't quite get there because of the ghost and the people coming in.
Let's just say you gave him the money and he finally gave you the pot because you had disappeared before he gave it to you.
Yeah. Yep, no, that's fair.
Is it surgery good all at once?
Noted.
It's also good sterilization for when you need to do more surgery.
Doozer almost shot himself and then he shot himself.
Mm.
Is it very strong stuff, is it?
Well, that's distilled.
Okay. Well, probably keeping one of those on hand is probably worth for antiseptic and stuff.
Or to knock out the patient before you operate.
That too.
This is the bit we don't mention to them.
Oh, but he recommends it for that. He sells it to many medics for that purpose.
Yes, well, I would definitely take one. I may need to operate in the future.
In which case, he gives you one for free, just for that, purposes.
Oh, much obliged.
I like to think.
As long as you tell him a story afterwards of how badly it went.
If I'm here at the time, certainly.
What makes time?
You can always just write him a letter.
Hey, if you tell him a good story, you get another one for
If
free.
I get through, half the stuff that goes through Rulebook just disappears.
Send it to Roderic's Cove. Don't send it to Riddleport.
Doesn't it go via Rulebook?
Not always.
Oh, okay.
A lot of things just reach the dock and they go back out again.
Fair enough.
If it gets to the dock, it generally gets out. Getting it to the dock's the problem.
If it's a good surgery, you should come back and get a free. It's a free refill every
Yeah,
time.
free refill.
Just tell them stories about your surgeries.
Yeah.
Did I tell you about the guy I did surgery on? Yeah, he died. I tried to do open heart surgery and then I...
No, it's gonna be like, I used this on Doozer, it was really good.
How good? Well, Doozer's no longer moving.
Doozer's stuck in the Bagorn pose.
He's no longer breaking hands. Why? Well, his hands nailed tight behind his back and blasted in place. And then when that didn't work, we then used metal to, weld everything in place.
Nah.
That'd be the day.
Don't really.
You're like this close to doing that anyway.
Drag them to the smithy. I need metal splints, please. What?
I need nails. I need nails and wires, and I also need a drill.
The smithy's like, what's a drill?
Just put their arm on the anvil and hammer. It's
Hammer,
fine.
yeah.
and then twist at the end.
You gotta make sure the rod's hot so it sets. That's not torture, right? Right?
Just give.
Not if they're unconscious.
Hey, listen. Your form of surgery, you may as well just give Doozer's arm to the blacksmith and go, here, repair this. Thonk. At this stage, it's more Willie's arm, but anyway.
Yeah, I think Willie's well and truly got me beat in the broken arm department now.
It was par and par for a while, and now it's like, oh.
Yeah, now Willie's really
Willie's like,
got
hold
out,
my
dude.
beer.
Oh my God, it was
Well, if we're going to compete, I'm going to win.
Yeah, it was like, fixed, broken, fixed, broken, fixed. It's like,
Come on, it doesn't cost me anything to break it and have it fixed, right?
trust me, the more times you do it, my prices will go up.
Wait, there are prices? What?
Well, I'm sure there's an obligation each time. Like, do you remember when I fixed that? No, smash. Yes.
You need to find your master of flappy hand style.
Yeah, you develop a whole new monk style.
Puppet style.
Puppet
Well, he could be master of the broken hand.
Yes, yeah.
How'd you do that? Watch this.
So instead of dunk punch, it's
Snap hand.
snap hand.
Yeah, that would be
Mr. Slappy.
like drunken mastery is one thing, but broken hand mastery.
You hear him coming down the alleyways at night.
Yeah.
On the walls. Followed by a distinct ow.
It
That's
does
when
beg the
you know.
question of, why do you look so beat up? I was just getting ready for the fight.
I'm giving you a handicap.
Okay, so I'm assuming after some time you eventually make it into the end.
Yeah.
Unless you want to ask the old guy more stuff.
No, I think we pretty much covered what we wanted to
You gotta
know.
cock block me and my depressed date. Really?
Yes, because we were sick of you running off on bloody dates every time we go to town. So yes,
Parry's just pissed.
we gate crash your date.
Okay, so you walk in and you hear this really low tone, almost like Woe Is Me tone. Think Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh. And in my 76 year, blah blah blah, blah 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 blah.
76 years of being here, I have seen 350 people die in front of me. I had one lover of my life and they died of old age. And oh, woe is me.
Have a carrot.
And basically, by the looks
And
of
I've
things,
lost
she's
my
been
tail.
she's been going on for probably about an hour or two by this stage. After all the time we were spent outside, so you missed about an hour or two of foreplay of Parry sitting there with the.
Yeah. Parry's now like face down in the table.
And then there's all this food around, and it looks like she's slowly eating as she's talking. And Parry hasn't touched a thing, which is unusual for Parry.
Just head down on the table,
Yeah.
side shoveling it.
Someone should check up on me because I'm probably face down in food and probably drowning at this stage.
Dooza comes up and whacks you slightly hard on the back.
Hey, what? Yes.
And then you look aside, and this puppy just looks up and starts cleaning your face.
Ah, good.
I say, what's the elf's name again?
Why does it smell like wet dog in
Her
here?
name is Adrahani.
Adrahani.
Sorry, correction. Why does it smell like wet orc and wet dog in here?
Not just. No,
You
actually.
look, puppy is still dripping, and Dooza is still dripping, and Willie is completely
Willie!
dressed strangely. You can see
Nice clothes.
the equivalent of see his lunch sort of goes with the shorts he's wearing.
Magic Mike has
Listen.
joined your party.
Parry's now the most liveliest thing he's been because he's been hearing this for like 2 hours.
And you notice the Chosa Callistra in some of the fabric around him that you think he must have ripped one of the banners off and used it as a robe on his way out.
It's a cloak.
It's Willie.
Sorry to interrupt your date there, Parry, but we've got things to do today.
Just give me 1 second before I reply to you. precipitation, so you're hopefully now dry and clean.
So you spend about 5
Yeah.
minutes or so doing precipitation to,
Yep.
to get enough of it, starting from the head down.
Yep. No, by all means.
It's something
Ding,
to do
ding, 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 ding.
while someone else keeps talking.
And she continues talking her way through it.
That's fine. I've got, and then puppy, and then.
Because you
The
did
Cove
ask her to
already
tell
died,
you,
so-
No,
you,
he
you
got
did
wet by
ask
the
her
dog
to
checking
tell
him.
you her
He
life
did
story
right.
last session.
Well, then puppy.
Because
Because I'm pretty sure
you had said you'd
Paul-
listen to her life story as well. She asked
I will die before I get her life story, okay?
Well, she asked which bit do you remember last, because she can go back to it and continue on from there.
The bit where it ended.
I remember something about people dying.
So back to the beginning then.
No, it was like, listen,
Every year has death in it.
yeah, I was about to say, this thing is being vague, so if I say, like, it's all about people dying. It seriously
Yeah, but
is.
doesn't that make her like more depressed?
No, because she just used everyone dying.
Yes.
She doesn't go more
That's-
depressed.
that's-
That is her constant state of depression.
that is her life.
Great.
Considering your entire lifespan to her is the equivalent of look, I made something pretty.
Being born for an hour.
She doesn't have memories that date older than, say, age of 25. That was when she can start remembering things. So you can imagine not having any memory below the age of 6.
Yeah.
Some people can remember 4 or less, but imagine having 25 years of not really having comprehension of what's happening around you. And then describing all the people who are gone.
Yeah. Well, sorry to interrupt your death date, but we're supposed to be exploring the forest today.
Well, I had asked you here to see if you could help with something. If you'd like to finish your meal while I finish telling your friend my story. He's so graciously been the first, person wanting to actually hear my tale. Because most people don't want to hear, of life and death over the ages. Mostly death.
It's a
But-
very interesting tale. My sanity is slowly slipping.
I put some of the more meaty food on the floor for Puppy and
She's happy to order food and tell her tale. But because there's new people here, she starts again.
Oh no.
can we have the abridged version of where you were up to with him? And I'm sure Harry can
She's
fill us
doing
in.
pretty much the Cliff Notes every year.
This is the abridged version.
Can Parry give us the abridged Cliff Notes later, and
Well-
you just continue from where you were?
Sure. If he can give the last year's abridged notes, he'll continue on from the last year he can do. She's looking at you eagerly. The first time we've actually seen any form of animation on her face besides "woe is me"
Oh,
for quite a
woe is
while.
me.
What would that be like knowledge?
Well, it would definitely be an intelligence
Intelligence roll.
roll. Well, more of a flat check, but I'd say flat check, not intelligence check. So if you can get a 19 or 20 on a dice roll with disadvantage.
With disadvantage.
Because you had fallen asleep during her
That's
distraction.
fair. That's fair.
I can give guidance if you want.
Ooh.
4.
Okay, so you start off with someone died.
No, that seriously was about Parry. Listen, if you didn't ask me to roll, I was just like, many people died. That was Parry's abridged version. So.
That sounds a little more abridged than she would really like. But she can go into more detail because she does remember everything rather vividly.
Oh dear.
She was there at the time.
Kroll's gonna ask the bar. We're in the tavern, aren't we?
Yep.
The bartender if there's a shrine or shrines nearby, like Aristotle or something.
There are shrines to many strange and weird gods, he says.
Yes. Do you know where they are?
No, I'm not religious.
Okay. Who would I ask who might know where they are?
He points to the elf. She's the religious nut in town.
There's no one else.
I don't ask people what their religion is. I just take their money and serve them drink.
What about Mr. Possum?
He's just a crazy old coot who mixes really strong alcohol that no one really buys.
Yeah, so he'd know that. Okay. I'll head outside to go and find him. As I'm about to step outside, I'll loudly state, oh, by the way, you can come out now, I'm not in the tavern, and walk out.
Is it still a thing?
It's still a thing. She will never appear if I'm ever in the same place.
Which may include the same town as far as you know.
Yep, I don't know.
Oh, that's right. The fucking blue-eyed evil thing.
So if she's ever got something to tell you, I don't know, I have to just not be there. So she
that
either...
is so funny that was your wish.
Yep, she'll either be there or she won't be there.
I want you to leave me alone. Okay.
So yes.
And extremely happy at doing so.
Yeah. And with that, I'll set to the stage.
Doozer waits for the music to start. Or the humming.
Okay.
At which point you get this really flat monotone voice starting with my first memories.
Perfect.
Just as you're listening in, and Puppy just sort of looks, ears droop, he has that.
No, sad pup.
He knows he's in for the long haul. That's probably he didn't go running after Crawl, like, Crawl, help.
Welcome to your new hell.
He has that look of being sad.
The depressed stories of an elf.
I'm like, you can follow Crawl if you like.
So that Barry?
No, it's a puppy.
Puppy just looks at you and you can sort of see tears.
Oh.
Trust me, buddy. You don't want to sit through this.
Save yourself.
Save yourself.
As you're being dragged into the darkness.
As I'm getting like dragged to sit down next to this like sullen elf.
As Parry's like pulling you down to the chair.
Yeah.
Beside-
Puppy snuggles up to you because, well, he does like hanging around you.
See the bartender struggling to stay up.
Deuce is very tempted to
No,
get this.
the funny thing is, the bartender's probably still standing up because this is
moonshine
probably
out,
like the
you wanna
50th time that she's come into this bar and told the exact same story.
Or probably has his beeswax just sitting on the bar to go,
Yes, yeah.
okay,
Every other
Puppy,
customer that comes up, what?
What you actually don't understand is actually the bartender's undead.
Also, he's Deuce is going to try this moonshine so he can get through today.
Okay, give me a fortitude save.
Oh.
I'm not downing the bottle. I'm just taking a sip. But
I know.
presume, 13 plus what is my fortitude? Is plus 9. 22.
Okay, the room stops spinning with that one little sip. You think if you had had more than that, you might have passed out from that drink.
Oh,
Nice.
From a sip.
And basically, you see the room spinning around you as her voice is now echoing through your head.
Oh, great. I've made it worse.
It sort of sounds like you've got 4 or 5 of her talking to you at once.
What's going on in Jesus' head right now? You spin me right around me.
Yep. All right. I put the bottle away if I can and
and go through your own personal hell.
Yeah, and then
Your brain is spinning while you listen to "Hello, Darkness, Smile."
as I now endure even worse torture than I thought I'd get today. But that's fine. I brought it on myself.
So everyone else thinks the conversation goes for about 4 or 5 hours.
No.
Deuce is like, what day is it?
Harry, just to make sure it's not going to happen the third time, is staying awake writing notes.
Well, look at this. You'll have one of the best journals of life and death of Runelords and Roderic's Cove ever on record.
Good stuff. And I will label it so, life and death.
Mm-hmm.
Life and death.
And it'll probably be our best
Why, Harry?
investigation
Always
to
sitting
date.
there, I'll get a sack or something.
No, sorry,
like
sorry,
a
by
sheet
pea
or
otter.
something that I turned into a sack. And
No.
pull the onion out
You
of
have to
it,
credit
start eating
the
onion.
the elf as well.
No,
Story by
So it's Life and Death, a
I get you to make a
biography
constitution
Yeah.
saving throw as well.
Duh.
Sorry?
I get you to
By
make a
P.
constitution
Hodder.
by
saving
P.
throw.
Hodder. Written by P. Hodder.
nice.
You know, 17 plus probably at least 7.
You feel your ears wanting to tear up as you're chewing on the onion. You realise it's just the onion. You're not really that, But you managed to hold those tears back.
I'm not a very emotional guy.
I know. That's why you managed to suck those tears back up.
I'm not an emotional guy, but man, those tears when you break your hands, they are so
There
sweet.
are no tears.
They were.
Very stoic.
Okay, and while you're having that discussion, we have our person out and about town.
Sorry, Martin.
Yep.
Would it be a crafting roll to? Because I'm literally going to make a biography of Life and Death.
You were
from-
basically just listening and writing down. As long as your character
Cool.
is writing down what she's doing,
Done.
you are writing it down.
Done. How many page biography is this?
Probably be about 200-300 by the time she finishes.
Whoa.
You're literally writing War and Peace.
No, yeah, Life and Death.
Yep.
A biography of what's her name again?
It's Adrahani.
Audrahni.
That one.
Audrahani. That's why I was pronouncing it so weirdly, because it's written weirdly. All the elves have really interesting names. They're not just called Bob or Steve.
Bob.
A biography of Adrahani, written by P. Hodder.
So, once you go outside and talk to the old guy, he says yes, he knows all the places around town. He just like, pulls out a map out of his pocket.
That's useful.
He's that sort of person. And he says, here's the chapel to Pharasma. Depends on who goes there because, well, Pharasma clerics are some of the least forgiving clerics she's ever met. They don't particularly like those playing around with life and death and intervening in the fates of people.
Is there any other form of...
And then he points over here. Here is the Peacock Manor, the centerpiece of town. It's basically the home of Costello Rostrata.
Costello who?
Rostrata.
And he is a...
I think it's a she.
She is a...
Just looking up the actual page number because it
sorry.
says, and here's the reference.
Yep.
She's a scholar, actually.
Scholar. Can I pay the sage a gold to ask him to let me copy his map on a piece of parchment?
No, you pay him a gold. He gives it to you. He's got others.
Oh, thank you.
And he points to this one here and says, now this is the Blackberry Bakery, halfling baker. No relation to the infamous kitchen destroyer out of Magna.
Interesting. Okay.
And the name is Blackberry. That's the family name. Best known for their tart berries in bread. And they make very different types of pastries. They
What,
are
not dead bodies off the street?
no meat products in any of their food whatsoever.
Everyone in the party but Barry's like,
And they're also known for their brandy, because they make blackberry brandy. And he points to another place on the map. Lenkmere's Mill. The creek barely produces enough to move the water in it to move the mill, so the mill isn't particularly great at doing its work, but it does do its job. Then there is Brogan's Apothecary, usually run by Mr. Brogan, another halfling. Also no relation to the one from Magmar, because they've heard of his explosive endeavours.
Yes.
No fires from them. And he's good at crafting concoctions, and he's also the town barber.
Oh, excellent.
And so also town surgeon too.
Oh, wow. Multi-faceted.
Most barbers are surgeons.
Mhm.
And they pay him a visit later.
Very, very few barbers in antiquity were surgeons as well, because they're the only ones who had the sharp implements
Mm.
and the knowledge to sterilize it before operating.
So it requires like 4 to 5 hours of exploring a town.
Then he points to another place on the map. This place is called the Hudson Kennel. The person who runs this has a bunch of hounds that she cares for, that she calls Cove hounds.
What hounds? Cope hounds?
Cove hounds,
Cove.
because it's Roderic's Cove.
My knees are
Okay.
hurting.
She's the one who has more knowledge of the woods than anyone else in the area,
I would definitely be seeing them.
which is why she's telling you some of these things. He's telling you some of these things. And then he points another place on the map right next to it. This is the Cove Guardhouse, where you will find Miss Captain Varisan. She's a no-nonsense woman who basically is missing the goblin rabble that made the town so much safer.
Right. Okay.
And he points to another place. This is just where we're standing outside of the Creekside Tavern and Inn.
Yeah.
The main bartender is Galena Nodson. And back up is Thelvin, who's a little more of an idiot. But they have run the place since their family died.
Yeah.
Then he gestures around the area. This entire area is known as the Circle because this town doesn't have a square. We call it a circle because it's
Okay.
round.
Alright. Yep.
It's the town circle, and every week we have a market here.
Do you know when?
Yes, today was the pop-up market.
Oh, today was the book.
Yeah, that's why I was here
Right, gotcha.
with all the other market sellers. He sort of says, "You sure you didn't hit your head while you were running away from the ghost?"
I ended up going for a dip in the ocean to clear my head, so I'm still a bit.
Do you need another dip?
No, I'm good, thank
Okay.
you. Just after effects.
He says you'll find the governor Lorenza Thought here in the Cove Hall. He points to a building just off the circle, on the other side of the circle from the tavern.
Mm-hmm.
She does all the officiating in town.
Yes, I believe we spoke to her earlier, I think.
Yes, I believe you came straight from her to me.
Yes.
Then over there, he points to another spot on the map. At the other side of town from the dog kennel is Calstrop's Meats. He actually has smokery there as he smokes beef, clams, oysters and pork.
So actual meat.
Actual meats.
Excellent.
Very few of it makes its way back to Rulebook.
I would definitely be going there as well.
Mm-hmm.
Then he points to another spot on the map not far from where you are. That's called Perrick Smithery. A halfling by the name of Lonson works there and makes a lot of cookware. At one stage, he did say he was the relative of the infamous cook from Magnamar, but he has since said he just made that up so people would buy more stuff.
Okay.
And as not on board anything, he just went, well, yeah, no relation.
Yep. And his name was what, sorry?
Lonson.
Lonson.
Perrick Lonson. That's why it's called Perrick Smithery. He's
Right,
gone by
yeah.
his first name.
Yeah.
Because the Lonson family isn't really a well-known family.
Yeah.
And just because you can never have too much meat, there's Palson's Cuts by Melford Palson. He has beef, pork, and fish that he prepares and ships a lot of his stuff off to Riddleport. He's managed to get the corner of the market on shipping there.
Yep, probably the Overlord.
Then the center of most towns, the general store, is run by Varna Rigenston. She is basically one of the town goblin wranglers, because well, they pretty much do anything for her for sweet she was using as treats.
Uh-huh.
So apparently goblins have this really sweet tooth,
Interesting.
and they really prefer the sour sweets over the other sort of sweets. The sourer it is, the more they like it.
That's some good information.
But apparently hasn't been able to do much with it lately because, well, no goblins in town.
Yeah.
And then there is another temple dedicated to Desna.
Desna.
Points on the map for that one as well. There is another half-elf there by the name of Miaso Salin.
Mm-hmm.
He's been running it for quite a while. He calls it the Temple of Stars and Roads. I'm sure that will make more sense to a Desnian worshipper than anyone else.
Yeah.
And if you really want to get seafood, the Rampart Reef Claw, he points that out, run by Unli Jeers, makes the best seafood in town, which is not bad considering we're a small community as it is.
Yep.
Now, if you want anything built, we do have our boatyard run by Stodgers. She is the best wood crafter in the region. Far better than it. She says she's more than a carpenter. She says she's an artist.
Carpenter.
So just call her a carpenter, and you might get swacked in the back of the head by a very ornate staff.
Good to know, though. You might need some of her services to do some changes to the house.
And if you want to have some armor repaired or weapons repaired, we do have Miss Savasha. She runs a armory, and most of her stuff is shipped off to Riddleport at about 10 times the cost of buying it here.
Okay.
So if anyone tries to buy in bulk from her and doesn't have the Overlord seal for the order, will most likely get laughed at.
That's fair.
Because she gets a tidy sum for just selling in bulk to him. Okay, and you know the docks. And outside of town, we have a few different things out that way. So it points in one direction. There is a ferry somewhere out that way.
Yep.
A few miles upriver. Then there is a sawmill located about a mile out of town. So they provide most of the timber they have. And there is Roderic's Wreck, which is the home of the town founder, Sir Roderic. And they are the main areas around here that are of note, he says. Hopefully that's given you, by this stage, about an hour or two has passed of you just talking to the old guy, pointing and telling tales of stuff.
Yeah.
So you feel like you might have got the best end of the deal, but you haven't been eating the entire time either.
That's fine. I can just eat rations or something.
But you've now got a good overview of what's in town.
Yep. And I'm happy to tell the others that once their ears stop bleeding.
Or in Juice's case, he comes down from a really bad overdose of alcohol.
Well, Doozer feels tingly all over.
Yay!
Could you imagine having someone operate you in that thing? I don't feel anything, but I see all this stuff happening.
I feel great!
Yeah.
God, imagine if I got under 20 though. It would literally just like
Fast
be
track.
twitching on the floor.
It's
Yeah. Yep.
Kind of reminds me of the strongest alcohol in Dragon Age is made from wyvern venom, which normally will kill you outright, basically. So just a single drop will get you smashed and give you hallucinations.
Yeah, look with this, drop in a tub and then share it amongst 20 people. And look, they're all passed out. That was worth it.
Yeah.
At least they're not dead.
I will keep in mind that I will use this weapon of alcohol in different situations. Not one where I'm listening to a very depressed elf telling her life story.
Maybe I should get another one, just dunk my arrows at it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well, you guarantee arrow will be sterile by the time you fire it.
Yes, yeah.
I will once I'm not
So
tingly.
do that thing said about at least 4 days of non-stop elf talking has passed before you come back to your senses.
Yeah, dude is like, Parry's like, what day is it?
What day is it?
I don't know, I'm on year 273.
Well, you just quote a year number and because you're writing stuff. And I'm sure dude just looks even more horrified back at you. Years, it's been years.
We're up to year 14 of her life story.
And you've been 4 hours, wow, okay.
Yeah. I hope we're a bit further ahead than that, but...
No,
That's what Perry tells you.
yeah. No, because Parry is adequately listening and taking notes.
Okay, so what did you want to do for the last of that while they were doing their bits? Because you can go. There are 2 churches you know are in town. One is to Harasma and one is to Desna.
Well, I've got 2 years myself now, don't I? So,
Go to Wales.
Yep. Right, your recording's taking, you've got 2 years.
Yep. You got 2 more hours, yep.
Well,
Right.
if you're recording, 14 years in 2 hours, then when there's like 300 to go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll break. I will.
I think
With
you would
the
just...
first 300 pages now done, I would like to say. As much as you're...
That's okay. She had something for you when she got to the end of it. It was just going to have Stefan's character finish his catch up.
Oh, sorry.
That was why I was asking what was he doing while they were finishing off their life rendition in Dot Point.
I was going to visit the Hudson Kennel and ask about the woods for some more information.
Okay. So you make your way to the kennel. It's lucky the guy has a map, and you've got it. It's very easy to find. And you find that there are big hides hanging from the outside of the building with a sale sign.
Interesting.
And the dogs here do very much look to be huge.
Wants a puppy.
Okay.
Every dog is bigger than you are.
Wow. So we're talking puppy size?
We're talking Great Dane Irish Wolfhound size.
Oh, like
they're
Timberwolf.
the evolved companion size.
Oh, okay. So not like Timberwolf size.
No, because like eventually Puppy will be that size, but I need to take the feeds for it.
Yeah.
So he's medium at the moment.
Yep. He's still a puppy. He's still a young one. And he gets to spend many years as a young thing yipping about. It's amusing that you've got to give up feats to make a puppy age. I'm mature now.
Yeah.
I think we're at level 5?
5 or 6, I think.
5 or 6?
Something about that. It's quite interesting. So yes, you make your way over there, you basically see all these hides, and you end up having a long conversation about dog breeding, even though you didn't intend it to happen.
No, I don't mind so much.
But you do have far more knowledge about animal husbandry than you ever wanted to know.
Yeah.
With examples.
Would I be able to lead the conversation as to how her dogs are bred and how...
That's how come we got into the discussion of animal husbandry.
Okay. And
And when you try to lead it elsewhere, it keeps coming back to the animal husbandry.
okay.
Literally.
What about how much her animals cost?
Oh, that. She normally sells them as poppies, but you end up having a long talk with her about that. So, because that's going to go for such a long time, I'll go back to the others.
That's fine. I'll send up a flare.
That there's no way your character won't. There's no way your character won't know anything at all about how dogs reproduce after this.
Well, at this rate, I'll probably own a dog, which I didn't expect to do, but you know.
I'm pretty sure it's the Encyclopedia of Parry. It's somewhere mixed in that.
Okay, so
She didn't tell me the price.
so as you started with lunch, when you finish dinner, by the time she finishes reciting everything.
Yep.
And she orders a round of drinks for everyone.
That was kind of her.
She doesn't order the round of drinks until she's finished.
That's fine.
There's a reason why she's learned to wait.
I don't want us people just like pouring it in their ears. Like,
She says, "Thank you again for taking time to chat with me. You seem like capable sorts. Certainly not the type who'd be content to live out lives of comfort in a small town like Roderic's."
and that's the end of the session.
Thanks for coming to our TED Talk.
I don't mean that as an insult. Far from it. I've been in town for way. And she sort of herself too long years. And I think the Cove needs people like you. Heroes? Question mark.
Dude's just like, why don't you leave if you've been here too long? Why not go exploring again?
Don't get us started on another story. Okay, no.
There is a story for that.
Maybe tomorrow?
It's a date.
Oh, you can't make it more sad. You're in trouble.
Puppy's just looking at you, tears pouring out his eyes.
I'm sorry, puppy.
My own has been said.
The bartender dive in front of you going, no!
Hang on. Maybe the day after. We've got something to do stuff tomorrow.
Yeah.
So she just looks really even sadder. Oh. Puppy just looks at you with even sadder look. Oh, you made her sadder. Says, the stink of violence is in the air. The near confrontation you were just involved in isn't the first time we've had it recently. Surely you've heard of the slaughter that took place last week. Something strange is going on here in Roderic's Cove.
The stink of slaughter? It sure wasn't dudes that are ripping us.
That was stink of death and decay, not slaughter. No blood in that one.
I hope not. Dudes, you think you need to be checked.
Ripped an artery as it came out.
As a medical professional, I have boundaries.
And someone needs to do some investigating to figure out what that is. I'm hoping you'll be up to that challenge. She says, getting the words out slowly.
Yeah. We've now been here for another 30 minutes, but anyway.
In which she's happy to hire you on to do some work for.
Sure.
Especially considering you're going to be back again tomorrow night for another tale. Looking at Doozer.
You set the date.
Yep. Doozer's resigned to his fate now.
You fucked up.
Doozer's resigned to his
Whatever we
So
do,
she's
don't
basically
help
giving you a job
Dozer
to
can go. I'll
go
bring the
off,
dog with me.
investigate something,
Yes.
and then show up the next day for the story of why he hasn't left the town.
Okay.
Because Doozer volunteered to sit and listen to it.
Yeah, no. So we listened to the full life story, and
Of the life and death of
Doozer
everyone
put
in the region.
one question to her. So why haven't you left the town? And she's like, oh, that's for another story. I was like, I would gladly hear it today, but I would like to hear it tomorrow. It's a date. Damn it.
dinner.
And she can hear about your investigations tomorrow night over dinner.
Alright.
So we've got all of tomorrow to investigate.
Yeah.
What are we looking into?
Slaughterings.
In the forest.
There have been murders in town a week
Oh,
ago.
sorry.
Yeah.
Which Kroll wasn't in the meeting to hear about.
Yeah, that's right.
So yeah, there's been murders the past week, but there was a massive slaughter a week ago as well.
Mm.
What's a massive slaughter?
As in lots of death around the town and lots of blood apparently.
There was this distinction that what Doomsday dropped didn't smell like slaughter because it had no blood in it.
That's where I've noted down. Dues are to be checked by Crawl. Latex glove and all.
No latex gloves here. It's all done by Phil.
Just try to relax.
Pig intestine.
I mean, you've probably seen worse.
It's lucky that you're a
with
small
the-
size. Makes it so much easier to do those jobs.
You've probably seen worse with assisting with the surgeries of all the tortured people back at wherever.
No.
I'm sure you had many nights waking up screaming from that situation.
Just gotta be careful not to. You don't just lose your hand, you lose your entire freaking arm, you know, everything else.
Yes.
Alright.
Okay. So she's also able to tell you that 6 people were killed recently.
Outside of the slaughter 2 weeks ago, or was that part of the
That was a slaughter a week ago.
Right, so.
So 6 people died that one day.
6 people died in that one encounter. And she's asking you to check in on it.
Sure. Where shall we start?
She recommends talking to Lydia Kalstrop.
Who is she when she got home?
Okay, and I'll figure out where she is in town because Stefan should already have it if he noted them all down.
Yeah, but he's not there. He's got the map and he's gone to deal with dogs.
Calstrop is the meat place.
Yep. That's correct.
Calstrop's Meats.
There's fresh meat on the table. Why? No reason.
And what's she paying us?
Nothing.
Story.
As far as I'm aware, she wants it. She at least wants us to investigate.
She pays in
Yeah.
stories.
She pays the stories.
For what?
She says depending on what you get and what you do is what she'll pay. She won't pay for nothing, but she'll pay for you actually solving the problems. If you can't solve the problems, then she's not going to pay you.
So some random amount of money she kind of feels like we might get at some point, if she feels like it.
She drops a big bag on the table at that point.
Perry.
It's full of gold.
Ooh.
Looks like
I thought one out there.
looks like there's more than 100 gold coins in there. And the one you pull out has the Overlord seal on it.
Of course it does.
That is me not at all.
And it's not the same seal you had.
Oh really?
It's the previous Overlord seal.
Ah.
Oh wow, they're ancient.
Okay.
And you did find out she was there. She was born after the founding of, I think it was around the founding of the report.
She might have information that I need.
We have a date tomorrow.
No, you have a date tomorrow.
So I'll take the dog so he's safe.
I'll take. Listen,
She
tomorrow's
wants you to
you, next day's me.
investigate, and
Okay,
if
I'm gonna get a
they're
long
going to
story
be
about
troubles,
Riddleport.
Okay, and if they're not going to be trouble,
Then
Don't worry too much.
get enough information to be able to take them to the authorities.
who are the authorities in town?
The mayor.
So we need to take them to the mayor.
Bring the information to the mayor. You don't have to bring the people to the mayor. If you're actually going to drag people to the mayor and the mayor finds them not at fault, then you could be jailed for dragging them to the mayor. If you kill them
By
without by the mayor itself,
So what's the
you gotta be able to have proof of the crime to be able to present to the mayor for the mayor to be able to authorize any action against them. Including retrospectively, she says.
Mayor is judge, jury, and executioner.
Fine.
And as she has the backing of the Overlord of Riddleport, her backing carries weight.
So you met him?
Not the current one.
No?
No.
Yeah, he's not a bad guy.
He wasn't born when I was there.
He's not
That's
bad
a story for after doozers.
guy. Likes the wrestling.
Maybe you can tell a story, she says. With,
Oh.
Hmm.
Right, this is going. I feel like this is Kroll's solo adventure.
No, Parry's joining you very shortly. Okay. Parry will get back to
Okay,
the elf in due time about a couple of things. But that's in due time.
Okay, so the three of you and Poppy beat a hasty retreat before you wind up telling more stories after having a really nice wine. You've not had anything tasting that delicate in a long time, which for some of you is lost. But
Definitely.
for other of you, like Perry, it's the sort of stuff his family have hidden away.
In our wine cellar.
She may actually be one of your ancestors.
She could be.
Do your guests get lost between the WHINE cellar and the WINE cellar?
And
No, it's wine and wiener. Sometimes they do get mixed up.
and as you step outside, you find Kroll with a puppy half his size in his arms.
Oh shit! Okay.
Well, that was a quick conversation. Give me a dog.
that has paws almost bigger than his hands.
Okay.
I like to think Crawls is like come waddling back to the end going, look guys, look what I have.
And he has this bewildered look in his face of, I don't know how to...
Yeah, I don't know if I got this. I wanted to ask about the woods. I came back with the puppy.
I was asking about dog sex and then next thing
and your book is now full of animal husbandry diagrams.
Yes.
You've literally learned the downward dog.
Yeah, don't worry. I'm becoming a veterinarian as well.
Hey, veterinarians are what you want to go see if you're not of the same race as the medic doctor. Most doctors specialise in their own race only.
I'm so glad you said medic doctor. I thought you were about to say animal. I was like...
Most so if you're looking in any fantasy world, you want to go to the veterinarian if you're not of that species. It's like, why? They've got more chance to guess
it's
right.
not that far a jump from...
Because not all humanoids are the same.
Yep.
Do so will probably peruse your book of animal husbandry later.
Oh my god.
That's fine. We're not breeding these though.
Harry will ask you.
Yeah, that's a good question. Is the puppy male or female?
Roll a dice if you don't want to choose.
Evens female, odds male. It's female.
No. No. No, we're not making this a thing.
Puppy can have puppy.
Yup.
What breed is it?
It's called the Cove Hound.
Cove Hound.
It's a unique breed to the region.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
So I'm basing it off the Irish Wolfhound as a thing.
Nice.
So big, chunky, lots of fur.
Great.
Nice.
More horse than dog.
You could look at it this way: a crow could learn to ride him.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Literally, because he's a small thing and it's going to be a large dog.
Big thing.
Literally going to be a large dog.
That's
It's
awesome.
not going to be a medium-sized dog. It's going to be a large dog.
I will turn to Crawl. Crawl, minus the fact that you now have a dog in hand,
Okay, and as you turn around and you're right next to Kroll, there's just this trickle from Puppy, little Puppy.
He's in training.
As you're sort of holding it like this, and Puppy, you can.
that doesn't stir me because Crawl is literally a fire hydrant.
Yeah.
But anyway, during our time where I've written this massive book, do you know where the person who the meadery
Yes.
would be?
The Calstrop.
Calstrop, yes.
Yep.
We need to go
It's
see
called
Calstrop.
Calstrop's meat, and it's
Yeah, he tells you exactly where it is and how to
according
get
to the
there.
map.
Beautiful.
Which is better of telling someone where to go.
Yeah.
We have taken into our hands a investigation to a slaughter that happened a week ago where 6 people were murdered in the town.
Okay, is this related to the other string of murders?
And well, I was about to say, and since then there have been more murders. So yes, probably.
Oh, so this is all related to the rumours that there were murders around town?
Yes.
Okay, alright.
Well, these are locals, not strangers.
Oh, sorry, locals dying in the town then.
Oh, so there's both locals and strangers now?
Yes.
Okay, alright.
But a week ago, 6 locals were murdered in town.
And they don't really make note of strangers dying near town. They make note of locals dying. So
Yeah.
this is a big
Fair
thing.
enough.
So apparently, someone who may have some information for us is Calstrop,
Yep, that's fine.
Lady Calstrop.
I need to pick up some food for this little one anyway.
It starts nibbling on your finger.
That's
How,
fine.
No,
how do you know
no.
how they were killed?
The elf didn't tell you.
Well, that's probably the reason why we're going to Lady Calstrop.
But then when you did ask her, she said she's just not that into death. It's not her thing.
Are you sure?
Really? 'Cause I'm definitely getting a real, you know...
Goth, emo kind of.
Yeah.
She reports on it, she's just not into it. It's not her thing. Which is why she's so, depressed. Because she's around it so much.
That's fair.
She can,
After
she can yawn a life away of another species. Is not
After
a
my
fantastic way to live.
25,463rd death, I'd be over it too.
And most humans are described as human.
So we go towards the meadery.
Okay. Doesn't take you long to get there. All these little kids come up to pat the puppy as you're going past.
Is this your puppy's name?
They call it, they call it.
What have you named your puppy?
I didn't want that name for fun.
What is the puppy's name?
Tansiandlol, which is apparently an elven name.
What?
So Tan for short.
Yeah.
10. There you go.
So he's a tan colour then. We'll go with that.
Sure. It's an elven name apparently.
Did you pay for it?
I don't know.
And
Somewhere in the conversation this happened, and I still don't know if I've even asked about the woods yet, so...
Blah blah blah, animal sex, blah blah blah.
Pretty much.
For all we know, Crawl may have had sex with the animals and puppy.
That's not my...
That's only speciality.
That's not my church, sorry.
bestiality's not my bag, baby.
Okay, so it doesn't take us long to get to the meadery.
Doesn't take long to get to the meadery. You see all these, the smoking station out the back, all these bits of meat hanging there.
I don't know why.
A couple of,
When I hear smokers, I just can't remember like Jay's place with all these smokers out the back.
a couple of animals the size of, or dogs the size of horses, just sitting there watching the meat and everything in the area. Well, looks like they're guard dogs.
Still tell you what.
No, mine's probably more obsessed with the actual puppy that Kroll is carrying.
Yeah,
Sniffing her and
Hey friend, hey friend.
pretty much.
Can't wait for this to go awfully wrong.
What do you mean, wait?
I'm Alpha Dog. No, I'm Alpha Dog. Rip natural 20 dead.
No, I think
Nah.
Okay, so you make it in and manage to catch up with Ladia. So I will get a description of her if I can.
Ladia. Hello, Ladia.
Okay, so nothing specific on her. She just looks fairly good considering all the people you see in Riddleport and you've grown up with. She doesn't look like she fits into that sort of state. Because she actually looks like bathing actually happens more than once a week. Instead of occasionally when it rains on you.
Ah.
or when you go running into a lake or seawater or
That
whatever.
too. And looks to be fairly
Aiden just participated.
and looks to be fairly well fed, so doesn't have that gaunt I'm about to die and I'm gonna eat anything that's moving look. And also looks like she actually has enough money to clothe herself because all the clothing matches. It's not like odd shoes and clashing colours and all that sort of stuff that you grew up with.
Wait for like a week from now, it'll be the next town event. Just running into the ocean, running back out.
There are some towns that do that.
I mean,
Yep.
the reason why Willie's mismatching is because he just wouldn't take the temple's healing laying down.
Most people do. That's how they heal.
I know.
There
The
And-
best kind of healing.
definitely.
And she welcomes you and goes, "Ooh, puppy."
Yes.
Which one?
The probably the youngest one because everyone cooes at the youngest puppy.
Ah.
The other puppy then gets patted afterwards as well. And she gives each of them a little bit of. Well, she gives the older one a little bit of thing. The younger one, she says, he's probably still on broth.
Sounds
Yeah.
like Blockhouse.
Probably.
Luna getting all the pats, and then Yuki's like, "Where's mine?"
Yeah, there's a new puppy husky that's coming to climbing, and everyone's oohing, eyeing over her, and Yuki's like looking over, going, "Where's my pats?"
Does that sort of shuffle over and go, "I'm here."
Yeah, she'll shuffle over and go, "Woo, woo, woo, woo."
Yeah.
And
And
then,
then bark at Luna because she's jealous that Luna's absorbing all of her attention.
Yeah, Luna came up, and Yuki was like, "Woof." Luna was like, "Okay."
I'm small, you're big, okay, I'll get it.
You can have the pets.
Uh,
So yes, she says, how can I help you? Interesting people, she says, looking around at you all.
yes, we are definitely interesting people.
Are you part dwarf?
Yes, indeed I am.
You just look a little stocky to be an elf, that's all.
Long story.
Really? I could do a happy story for a change. Is that happy?
Their family is a little more willing than others.
Our family's a little bit more happy than others, thank you.
That's what willing means, right?
Oh, you must be one of the hotters then. I've heard about the family of hotters.
Yes.
They'll do anything.
See? Willing.
I am...
He smiles a bit. Most of the Tale-Tide stories are rather depressing.
Yes,
Yes,
just
we've just spent 6 hours listening to one.
No,
Only
I think
6
it was.
hours?
I think it was more like 10 because we started at lunch and it's like night
Dinner.
time now.
So the sun's still setting, so it'll be setting for about an hour or so.
Or in Duz's case, it's just like we've been listening for days.
Probably a race to the tavern to see whoever doesn't get the last seat with what's her name.
Yeah. So yeah, I introduced myself. I'm Parry. You've probably heard of my long family. Long.
Yes, she's had it mentioned more than once by Adrani, who's told more tales than anyone else.
Yeah, that's not a surprise.
And when she starts talking, no one else really has it in them to tell a story.
Would you believe that Dooza wants to go round 2?
She says, "You must be very brave.
Well,
You must be mighty where you come from," she says, just looking at you admiringly.
she's like kind of fucking half-heartedly like, yeah, I'm just like this shit's been days.
Got PTSD from the last special stories.
She's the sweetest person around, but boy, she's so depressing.
Can agree on that one. However, we've been sent by Adrani to assist in an investigation about murders that happened a week ago for
Oh
6
yeah,
locals.
those. She has a trouble telling humans apart. Unless she gets your name. She just registers you in the back of her head as Aging Human 1, Aging Human 2. So, there were, all people were buried a few days ago.
Mm-hmm.
Adrahani was the one who buried them all. Very, very few people can deal with death and dismemberment like she can.
So they were dismembered.
Dismemberment.
Well, she deals with all the death and dismemberment that we come across.
But
Do you
these,
come across
but
a
these,
lot of it?
Fairly regularly from outsiders like you.
So we're the ones who are coming around causing the
Oh
dismemberment.
no, you're normally the one who come around and get dismembered. Something to look forward to, she says.
I'm sure.
Though, considering one of you has a puppy, I'm sure that one will be the one who lives. Whoever has a puppy generally walks out. It's considered a sign of good luck.
Interesting.
Unless, of course, the puppy runs off, in which case you're the one going to die first.
No, not so interesting.
They always seem to get away from any calamity.
Important safety tip, Crow.
Right, so when the
Buy a
dog,
leash.
when the
Yeah,
dogs start
yeah.
freaking out, we know to run with them.
Yeah, so
when
before we go to the
when
forest,
dog,
I'm
when
buying
the
a
dogs
leash.
start freaking out, tie them to a tree, and then let's hold our ground.
Okay, so the people who died were all human.
Yep.
So, which is why, Adrani would probably have a hard time describing them to you. As she's buried more humans than anything else over the years and remembers all of them at the same time.
I'm sure we have cliff notes from last week.
As she says, of the 6 who died, 2 worked as trappers in the forest, 1 as a fisher, and 3 were unemployed. It sort of didn't help that the goblins that normally kept businesses afloat disappeared, and quite a few jobs fell on the wayside because of that. All of them had a rune on their clothing, which she, let's see if she remembers correctly. She draws with some charcoal on the wall for you.
Arcana check.
Well, it looks like one of the runes on the bridge.
That's lit up.
Yeah. The first one that lit up. We're testing
Wrath?
Josh's memory here.
You mean lust?
No, that
No,
was the
we-
second.
It was Wrath was the first one.
Wrath was
Yeah.
the first one, yep.
I even have it all in the history online as well.
Yep.
I even checked with Amber made notes to make sure I got them in the right order.
It was Wrath, Lust,
Right.
Pride, Greed.
Yep.
And it even is in that order online as well now.
Mm.
With the dates, so you can actually check when it happened in relative to what you were doing. So if you wanted to know what you were doing at the time,
I think because we wrote down what we thought we were doing at the time.
and Wrath happened around the same time you were in Kamagar.
Yes, that's right.
Both parties, so it could be neither party's fault. I love that.
'Cause
Yes.
we were thinking of the Sandpoint Devil, but
No, it's Kamagar.
yeah, a bit earlier.
It was Kamagar. But it was around the same time frame, so...
Yeah.
Give
Well,
or take.
that was some of the cliff notes are from the original brainstorm of we're thinking we're on a better track of when these are happening now. So
Yeah.
And as you managed to put, and actually get specific dates, it made things a lot easier.
Yeah.
Okay.
So all 6 of these locals had the rune Wrath
Yeah.
on their clothing.
And they managed to be associated with one of the local gangs called the Horned Fangs.
All of them are associated.
Everyone with that rune is associated with a group called the Horned Fangs.
Horned
Horned
fangs.
Fangs. So where do the Horned Fangs reside, and where's their turf if it's kind of gang related?
Yeah, one of the bodies had a deep punch rune to the throat,
Oh, sure.
but the other 5 had no physical wounds, but looked like they died of fright.
great.
Okay, so we actually have a picture of what she looks like, so that's what she looks like.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Left one. Yep.
Ladia. They actually have more from her as well. I actually passed on what the elf witnessed to tell you, because she really came across more as a humans look all the same to me sort of character.
Yep.
Mm.
Okay. So she pretty much tells you everything Adrahani was going to tell you anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So what she tells you of it, she rose late at night, as she does most nights, to tend to the smokehouse fires and her dogs. On her way there, she saw a number of people fleeing north from the circle, rushing to the scene of the fight and shouting at those fleeing to stop. Ladia stumbled upon the grisly aftermath. 6 bodies were sprawled out on the ground dead. She immediately started shouting for her neighbours to wake up and help, and to keep an eye out for the varlets who committed the crime. She mourns that it was too dark for her to recognise any of the people fleeing the scene, but she notes that they were headed north. For this reason, she suspects they weren't thugs from Riddleport, reasoning that pirates would have fled south to board their ships at the docks.
So they fled towards the forest?
Well, yeah, what's north of the town?
There is a ferry north of the town.
Where's the ferry go?
Give me a sense motive roll.
Sense motive?
Which I believe is part of perception, maybe? I know it's one of the... It's been wrapped into one of the other skills.
Yeah.
Would it be society?
It might be society, actually.
So what's against deception?
Perception, usually.
Yeah. Because if she's trying to...
She's trying to deceive.
Yes.
She should be deceiving.
It's more about most people don't tell you everything.
Mm. It would be, I guess, perception or society, depending on what she's trying to do. Presumably.
Because perceptions, you're pretty much catch-all for everything.
Usually. What was it? Sense motive?
Sense motive
Here we go.
is...
It's on page 471.
471. Sense motive. So it's perception check against their deception.
So they gotta roll. So they gotta roll deception, we gotta roll.
Well, they'll be doing it as a flat check.
Flat check.
So it's just a base DC. If you can beat her base
So it would be
DC,
passive.
because it's passive for her, because she's not intentionally trying to deceive you.
Sure.
What did you get?
26.
That would be a critical success. That would be a... Yeah, she's told you everything she knows.
16.
That
Which is
would
just
be...
Success.
16 is a pass.
Yeah.
What did Grohl get?
Oh, sorry, I wasn't aware we were all rolling.
Well, she's telling everyone a story, so.
Oh, shit.
High or low?
High. That's a 28.
Okay,
Ooh,
critical
wow.
success for you two. So both of you pick up that she is holding things back.
And Juice is just like,
You will tell us what we want to know.
Okay. So adding to what she told you earlier.
Yeah.
What
are you missing?
Mainly because you've got a puppy.
Oh, okay.
That did give you a bigger bonus on her attitude towards you.
Yeah.
While patting the puppy, she does tell you that one of the young boys around town, Kaye Fromperton. Yep.
Fromperton.
So, and that is the name written down. Was lurking around the scene soon after she started yelling for help, and he slipped away before help arrived. He may have seen what happened.
Let's go find young Fromperton.
And where can we find this
is it Kai,
young
like
boy?
K-A-I?
K-E-Y-N-A-E.
Oh. K-Y-N... K-Y...
She never checked.
Was it I-N-E?
Okay.
Or N-E?
Anyone check?
A-N-E.
Or did they just
Yang.
go to the grave
Yang?
with whatever valuables they may have had on them?
2 of them were pretty poor. Well, 3 of them were...
Kian.
Well, most of them weren't that rich to begin with, so if anything of value they had on them, it's probably their clothes, she says.
Steve.
The mayor might have had them checked.
Kevin,
before
there we
being
go.
Okay.
all of the
I'm naming him Kevin.
some of the other people around town might have known. So if you were to speak to the governor, she would probably know more about what they might have had on them, if anything.
Interesting. So we either go, so we'll go to the governor and see what they had, or do we go for a bit of a
Let's go for the kid first.
let's go a bit of a snoop around and find Laddie Laddie Frumperton.
And he's the son of the town drunk.
Okay.
Where's the town jester then?
What was this lady's name again? Sorry.
Her name is Lydia Kelstrop.
Ladia. DIA.
Looks like she likes her tea and influence blues.
So we're guessing she looks more like sort of like a Miko kind of clothing, or
Yep, very much so. But Amiko was also less into her heritage and more into fun.
True.
So knowing this kid's the son of the town drunk,
Mm-hmm.
first place Parry is probably going to wander back to his inn.
Yep.
See if said town drunk is getting drunk.
Well, there is a
That,
scene-
or he might be with the sage.
You wander into the inn and find there is a guy sitting in a corner snoring. He was there the entire time you were listening to the story.
Yeah. I wake the gentleman.
He sort of will give me a make an athletics roll to see if you'd actually wake him.
Athletics.
Your dodge is punching it up.
The buffest wizard known to man steps up.
I wake him with my spell, slap.
Don't come on there with my staff. Natural 1. A total of 4.
Okay, so you go to wake him up and throw him off the chair into the ground.
Thank God, for a second I thought you were going to set the fire.
And he bounces into the fire. That was a great idea.
Well, it'll wake him up.
Yeah, definitely.
And he's still asleep as he's burning.
Oh, really?
Get out.
He was completely out.
That's,
Dudes, get him out, please, quick.
I try and grab him out, but quickly.
Okay, you drag him out, he's burning.
I tried having magic. There's no water here, is there?
Pee, puppy, pee!
You get Poppy to pee.
Do it.
Yeah, I mean.
Do
Give
it.
me an animal handling roll because that's a new command. You haven't intentionally told him to pee yet.
Yeah.
That's true.
Okay,
Why do you think I've asked you for commands in the past?
Yeah, I know.
While she does that, I'm going to go quickly grab the bartender and say, can I get a pail of water, please?
He gives you a bucket while we turn and look.
No, probably not. Poppy's just like, what do you want? It's 12.
12. Okay, you hold Poppy up to pee and there's a splatter.
Yeah, food's just as good.
But it doesn't go in the direction you're expecting it to go, it just goes down at your feet.
Oh, okay.
23.
Yes, you pick it up and suddenly there's this water all over the guy's face. So as you were in there, you just get hit by this bad smell. As not only is there the smell of burnt flesh, there's also a smell of what Puppy had recently.
Asparagus, obviously.
Yeah.
Closest water I had on hand.
Why does everyone use their puppies as fire hoses?
It works.
It's a skill, you may as well make
We're in a tavern! You can just go to the bucket and ask for a pail of water.
Lucky you just didn't pick the first glass you see and throw, because it would have been, whoosh, whoosh.
No, that's the reason why. Oh, there's possum punch.
And you can sort of hear this stuttered snoring coming from the guy. It looks like half his face is melted.
Okay, now we'll go get the pail of water and,
No, the pail of water's already doused it.
Oh, good.
That's what he doused him with, not the poo from the poppy. That's all Overduce's feet.
I'm going to step out of the inn and just have a look around.
You can sort of see the elf sort of retching somewhere off to the side.
I'm glad we're entertainment for her. I'm really glad we are.
I offer a cup of concrete so she can harden the fuck up.
Whoa!
She looks at you. And just has that one of those looks, and she gives you an intimidating glare.
Whoa!
Okay, what's your will set? What's your will DC? Which is adding your wisdom.
Plus 10?
Yeah.
18.
Okay. She just looks at you and you back up. You get frightened one from her,
Whoa!
which was a success, not a critical success.
Yeah, wow. I mean, she's 300 years old, so...
Yeah.
So I've taken a step back and I say, you want the glass or not?
What's that hand? Well, show me this concrete drink you've talked about.
It's inside on the table. I have a look around. Is there any kids in the street?
Oh yeah, there are lots of kids playing.
Okay.
Any kids that look mortified that their dads on
She's
fire?
never heard of this drink called concrete.
That's okay, you'll find it on the table. I'll walk over to one of the kids.
Yep.
And I'll ask if they know of, this guy's son.
Frumperton!
He looks you up with, I go, no, never heard of him before. Give me a perception roll.
So I just say to him, if you do know who he is, if you let him know that his father's on fire in the pub, yeah.
Okay, King goes, again.
Again? What?
What did you do, try to pee in the fire this time?
No, you sort of rolled into it.
He sighs and starts walking, dragging his feet towards the end.
Are you him?
Oh. He says.
I'll follow him into the...
He sort of just looks at the still smouldering parent. He just sighs.
Taking him home?
No.
He's going to leave him there. Okay.
He sort of looks in there to put him back on the seat.
Yep.
Ah, you must be Cayenne.
Oh.
Are we really going to do this, kid?
No.
Alright.
Jesus is just like, really, mate?
Oh wait, I'll give you the bonus. Hold this puppy while I tend to your dad.
He smiles.
There you go. A puppy bonus.
Kid's gonna steal your puppy in a minute.
He better not. If he does, then we'll chase them down.
Whoa, the medic getting violent, jeez!
I mean, you know what happens when you lose the puppy? He dies horribly.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Dooza is like God.
That is a...
Puppy starts, nipping under his fingers.
That is an 18.
God,
18.
not nip.
18
Well,
or...
not your puppy, that puppy, little puppy.
Oh, the little puppy.
Little puppy's ignoring you completely.
No, but I told puppy
So
to guard.
that's me knowing, is he Cayenne with the... No.
Very much so.
Wait, what did you call it again? Tan. That's right.
Tan for short, or Tansian.
And then, not long after holding him, he appears drenched from Poppy.
He
From
what?
Tan.
Your dog peed on the kid.
Oh, sorry about that.
Only a little bit, though.
She's still learning.
Every time she gets excited, she pees.
Yeah.
I solace kids like, you're not in trouble. We just need to know something.
Oh.
Puppy, he says.
Yes, you can play with
We're
puppy.
done now?
What?
You know something, he says.
No, you know something that we need to know.
This is a puppy, he says. You needed to know that.
Beautiful.
He hugs
Well done.
Just so you know, I got 22 on the medicine check to tend to the father.
So now his face sort of looks like he's from Batman with Two-Face. It's all wrapped up.
Yeah.
That is an 18. God, God, not nip. 18 or...
18 or... 18 or... 18 or... 18 or... 18 or... 18 or... 18 or... 18 or... 18 or... 18 or... 18 or... 18 or... 18 or... 18 or... 18 or... 18 or... 18 or... 18 or... 18 or... 18 or... 18 or... 18 or... 18 or... 18 or... 18 or... 18 or... 18 or... 18 or... 18 or... 18 or... 18 or... 18 or... 18 or... 18 or... 18 or... 18 or... 18 or... 18 or... 18 or... 18 or... 18 or... 18 or... 18 or... 18 or... 18 or... 18 or... 18 or... 18 or... 18 or... 18 or... 18 or... 18 or... 18 or... 18 or... 18 or... 18 or... 18 or... 18 or... 18 or... 18 or... 18 or... 18 or... 18 or... 18 or... 18 or... 18
You were spotted
Yes, by him, he says.
a week ago when people died.
He looks sad.
I
died.
know it's very hard, but did you see anything else that could help us?
Do I get Poppy?
You get to play with Puppy. Yes.
Every day?
Can you play with Puppy?
You can play with the puppy, you can't keep her.
No, that's what I'm saying. I was like, you can continue to play with Puppy, but we need to know information.
Okay, so I'm going to give you a coercion check to see if you can actually convince him to.
Diplomacy?
This is not a diplomacy one.
So let's go.
You pretty much have
What's
to.
coercion?
Make a diplomacy then. I think there are multiple skills I'm used to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to.
Can't remember
I
which
thought
system.
Yeah.
diplomacy was all about getting people on your side.
I think it'll be more charm. Is the charm in this one?
Nope.
Is that
The most likely
society?
diplomacy.
Is that maybe?
Make it diplomacy. Because I thought there were 2 skills for that. Where did I put my skill?
I thought society was knowing stuff around the town and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, society is knowing like actual like people and.
So what did you say?
place.
Coercion?
Yeah, I think that one was some different system. Let me have a look at skills. It's been so long since I've done all the skills that they blur.
I mean, the
Yeah.
only other one would be like is occultism if it's a bit out there, but
I will say diplomacy.
Diplomacy?
I think I was thinking along the lines of persuasion and all that sort of stuff that other systems have changed it all to.
It's very interesting, isn't it?
So we'll make it, it's all under diplomacy. You're trying to get him to tell you something
Yeah.
he doesn't want to tell. Coercion is actually under intimidation.
Under intimidation!
So it's not under this one for this stage.
I wouldn't say I'm not trying to be intimidated.
So I'm going to have to say it's basically you're trying to request information from him, which is diplomacy.
I was about to say I'm not being intimidating. We've got a puppy there. What's
So,
my...
do this or take Puppy away. Okay.
You bastard.
Okay. 19.
19 total?
Yep.
Okay, he doesn't seem to be swayed by your words.
Really?
Gratuitous violence.
Which means he probably knows something really bad.
He probably does.
He looks more afraid than he, as you try to convince him to actually talk.
He's really poor. Money is likely to be a fairly big motivator.
He's a kid, he probably doesn't know.
Oh, I'm sure he does. Like, food is good.
Yeah, but
Money
if you give
equals
him money, it's probably going to go back to his dad to get him.
Bet you he doesn't.
Why don't we?
I mean, it's out of your...
Why don't we get someone to run to the Blackberry Bakery and get him a tart?
That might be an idea.
or why don't
Listen, if
Just
we
give
were
him,
to
like, a
get
bit of
you...
food here.
Yeah, if we were to get you... I know this is terrifying to you because I've seen your expression. We really, really need to know this information. We are willing to offer you a good dinner tonight. Bribing the kid, basically.
Yeah.
He sort of looked at you suspiciously.
We just need to know this information.
He agrees to the dinner first. And then you get to make another, I'll give you a diplomacy check with advantage. To see if you can actually convince him during the dinner.
Yeah. Better. 24.
24. It would actually be quite funny if I showed Peter the actual number written down here.
Is it a version 2, like 2?
Oh, it is version 1, but it is still within the ballpark for figures. It would be a lot harder to have done this in version 1 than in version 2, because the number was that much higher for version 1.
Yeah.
That's how hard it was.
Yeah.
Jesus.
But he actually looks terrified as you try to convince him, so much so that he ends up stopping eating.
Oh wow.
In the point of he wants to leave instead of eat.
Wow. That is scared.
for a 24.
Yeah, but I'm talking more about the fact that he wants to leave rather than eat. That is scared.
That's information enough for us of what he has seen, or what he has seen, yeah. Because remember, one had a puncture mark, 5 of them were death by fright.
Can I ask the bartender for a bowl of broth?
Mm-hmm.
And I'll pay how much it is.
He charges a whole silver for that.
Okay.
Oh, I charge him for, I pay for the dinner for the kid.
Well, this is for Puppy. And then I'll give it to the boy and the spoon and ask him to feed Puppy to kind of distract him a little while he's going through this.
Part way through, he looks at the missing spoon, and Puppy's dropping bits of spoon out of his mouth.
Oh!
As long as he's not eating the damn spoon, like swallowing it, that's fine.
Well, you can only find the stalk.
Yeah, there's a spoon in the puppy.
I just started learning about veterinary stuff. I don't have to do it now.
Yes, you do.
Puppy surgery.
She just knows a good way to make him throw up.
Don't rip ass.
No.
I got instinct pellets. What? I think.
Right, well, we'll just let Puppy lick from the bowl then.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as we're aware, whatever did this ran, in general terms, from...
Weren't you guys running from the ghosts? Aren't they really scary?
Yeah, but they don't generally inflict.
You can be scared.
And that ghost was...
No, but like the physical wounds
Yeah.
are a dead giveaway that something else was there as well, potentially.
So can ghosts
Well, in terms of
They can, but why would only one of them have a physical wound and the rest just be frightened to death?
Maybe
fail
he's the one who
save, fail
didn't
save,
die.
fail save, mate save, dead.
talking to the kid,
Pretty sure the
don't want to know
Ghost was
what
of
it
the-
is,
founder
but
of this
where did it go?
town anyway.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So,
But a controlled ghost is still.
Because if it's terrifying it,
so
if it's terrifying him, I don't want to know what it is. I want to know where it's gone, or where did it go after dealing with those 6 people.
Okay, so I will give you a third chance at diplomacy check, considering with advantage, considering you have had lots of puppy involvement, and you're asking him not to tell you everything.
I don't want to know everything. I just want to know where it went. $18.
18.
Yep.
Well, as you haven't done anything nasty to him while he's been struggling to tell you, he does tell you some of it.
Okay.
He says he was out late that night to get some night fishing done.
That's
Oh.
interesting.
I interrupt him. What did you catch that night?
No.
Just to kind of distract him more.
More of nightmares is what he says was what he caught that night.
Okay, that doesn't sound fun.
Something sound fun for us when we face up against it.
When you heard some talk coming from the circle.
The circle.
Yeah,
The town
which is
circle.
The town circle.
It's circle instead of square.
Because it's circular.
Yeah. Oh.
Amazing how that works.
Yeah.
He crept to the edge and he saw 2 people arguing. He recognized the Horned Fangs and the Order of Resplendence there.
Oh, the fancy guys. That's right.
Who is the Order of Resplendence?
The mix match guys. The guys who wear like yellow, red, and blue, all in like different areas of their body. It's weird.
And the
Because they're
Orders-
resplendent.
The Order's people, who was a woman, was accusing the Horned Fangs that they were propriating a
Propagating?
not propagating, propriating,
Oh, propriety. Okay.
which he doesn't understand, a Runelords rune, which he also doesn't understand. But he's sure that's what they said.
Propriety.
Basically-
and he said Runelord.
Yeah.
Basically, they're advertising the Rune of Wrath.
Okay.
Well, we know it's the Rune of Wrath, but
Well, yes. So
how
basically,
does she know it's the rune as well? Like, Or that of a Runelord.
That's
Get in
none.
on the ground floor, mate.
Yeah.
They're
Wasn't
up
that
and
the first
running.
time we've ever heard of
It's
any
none the
Rune
matter.
Lord?
I know you have heard of the Runelords,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we heard of the Runelords.
Okay.
But basically, so
but
these-
you've not really heard of people talking as if.
They know what it is as well. Yeah.
And then she seemed to have drawn some what looks to have been a rapier, but it had no blade. But she stabbed at him with this laserless weapon, and blood spurted out everywhere.
Mhm.
So that's the one with the puncture wound.
Yeah.
What does
And
a
then
rapier
he
without a
said-
blade look like?
A hilt.
A hilt.
Basket hilt.
Just a bloody hilt.
But she sort of went like this.
So it's got an invisible blade.
Yeah.
And then things came out of the fog, ghost monsters and all worse. All came around the horn fangs who all just fell over. And then one of the ghosts turned towards him. It looked like his old man, so he ran off. So I said, "Yeah, don't tell he's dead." He ran off because it looked like he's dead.
Yeah, that sounds really scary.
You see your dad as a ghost.
Yeah.
Jeez. I mean, his dad was almost a ghost when he...
It's interesting that a whole bunch of them came out.
Though you could make a spellcraft check based on what he's described,
Spellcraft
Sure.
check.
which is
No.
based on your traditions, the ones that you know.
Oh, yep.
Is traditions like the law?
18!
So if you're a
Arcane, occult,
spellcaster,
primal, or
yes.
divine.
18.
Oh,
You have to be trained in it at least to do it.
What was it?
Well, I don't need to be.
You don't need to be
No. Because I've got that.
Pathfinder thing.
That's it.
But that doesn't make you able to do all the train rolls.
Doesn't it?
so it's only like if you weren't trained in, say, like thievery, you get your level instead of the
It means you can do all the untrained actions with bonuses of your level,
Uh-huh.
but you can't do the trained actions of things you don't know.
So,
It's
sorry,
powerful in its own
what
way.
spell is it again?
That's what I'm looking up.
Because it
So,
doesn't
like-
sound like it's mine.
like I'm not trained in thievery, and it would normally be a +1, but because we're level, yeah, because we've got that Pathfinder law and feat, that should actually be +4. I clearly haven't updated that correctly. Because I have 1 dex and I'm level 3.
Okay, so what did you get for your roll?
Oh, for my magic tradition?
Yeah.
Is it just it's just a flat roll?
It is a roll plus your magic traditions roll.
God. So my magic tradition is arcane.
Mm-hmm.
So then that will be... Sorry, I'm confused. Would that be a spell attack?
That would be an
roll?
arcana roll.
An arcana roll.
Yeah. That's your magic tradition roll.
Ah, got it. So it's an arcana roll for me.
And then I'll see if it's on your spell list when I pick it up.
Probably not.
So what did Crow get?
So I'm rolling divine?
Yep.
Okay.
Nice.
Does this mean I'm adding religion? No.
You do add religion to the roll.
Okay.
So what did you get for yours?
Me, I got 27.
27.
Do you have any rerolls left?
Yes, we do have a couple.
Mm,
But did you roll a 1?
no, I rolled a 10. Warning I should get higher, I'll leave it. I mean, it's in a 19, so
19 is still fairly high.
I'll just leave it.
Okay, so I'm going to look at what they say to actually look up the skills. So I can see you got a critical success or a success.
I also wanted to make a occultism roll after that.
Occultism?
Yeah, to kind of take a gander at what those ghosts were.
No.
Yeah, it's basically saying what they have here for DCs is the GM sets the DC for your check.
With no examples.
Only for learning a spell.
Ah.
And if I
Okay.
use the learning a spell DC, that means that Parry may have critically fumbled.
Wow.
What?
Wow.
On a 27.
Okay, that instead of a critical foul, that become a foul.
What? Holy shit.
I don't want to know what we're messing with anymore.
So is it to detect the spell, or is it?
To identify the spell.
Yeah, to identify the spell.
Which means that Kroll gets to make up the spell for everyone.
If
Because
you,
Parry couldn't identify it.
If you
And you fumbled.
if you failed, then I vote we go home. We're not. This isn't
But
for
doesn't
us.
the
Let's go home.
identify spell have a?
It's the identify magic trained skill
Yeah.
for someone who identifies magic.
Yeah.
And if it's a DC to learn the spell, becomes a DC to identify it, then you critically fail the spell and get to make up whatever you think the spell effect is.
Summon Bobbyjack.
Wow. Okay.
Surely not.
Just so you know, these spells go up to DC 31 to learn. 41 to learn.
Wow.
So a first level aura cantrip is 15, and it goes all the way up to 41
Jeez.
for a level 10 effect.
So it's not even 5 increments.
Identify magic. Determine specific.
Parry could have identified up to 5th level spell
Yeah.
being cast, so it's higher than 5th level.
2, 3, 8.
But as a but it means it's not a 10th level spell, so it's anywhere between a 6th level spell and 9th level spell.
Yeah, I vote we go home.
Magical traditions and skills. Is that it? Identify magic.
That's where I use the learning the spell DC.
The GM sets the DC. Cursed.
Oh, I see. So it has a
Yeah.
list of DCs here that are typical ones. Okay.
Learn a spell. Trained.
I gave you that DC to be able to identify it for a spell you've never seen. Okay,
Wow.
so what does Kroll think the spell is based on the description so far, and you think that's true?
So,
Huh?
could you run the description by me again, please, quickly?
Okay, so it was person gets stabbed with an invisible blade, and then all these ghosts and monsters start coming out of the fog and scare everyone to death.
Jeez, that's a powerful sword.
Let's check my spell list.
But you know it's higher than your spell.
Yeah.
It normally says of the GM's choice, but I was going to give the player to make the spell up, and that becomes lore in the story.
Right. Okay.
Because you get to report that back to the Pathfinder Lodge.
Great.
Someone.
So I'm the one that gets shot.
It's the undead sword.
Summon ghosty sword.
And basically, you just sound so believable, everyone else in the party believes you. Because you know exactly what that is, whereas Parry's like, I don't know what that is.
Wow.
But as it's supposed to be a secret roll, you can't use the roll as a way to determine whether you should do anything about it.
No. By all means, Parry's still headstrong investigating about this.
So from the character's perspective, you don't know what the numbers were, but Kroll identified it.
Given Kroll has experience with, like, he has a spirit, like,
It's the
spell,
undead pokey stick.
which is technically a necromantic spell. He'd probably say it's like a spirit lance or something, or a spirit blade.
Well, make up a name for it, because that becomes the name of the spell.
Undead pokey stick.
As you've identified correctly, remember? You correctly identified it.
This is just like.
And it's now something you can point out to the Pathfinder Lodge as the first time you've heard of the effects of this spell actually being used. You thought it was theoretical up until now.
I guess I'll just say spirit lance.
Okay. So, Spirit's Lance is something that will have, crop up later down the track coming from the Pathfinder Society.
Separates the spirit from the body and the spirits come to collect it.
Yeah, I do like that. Makes it an interesting way. Very much like the Wobberjack.
Mm-hmm.
And that sort of thing going in the stories.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
When it says groups are going, the what?
The what? The what now?
So that is what the little kid looks like.
Okay, yep.
So you know that's what the little kid looks like.
He looks very malnourished.
Yep.
That's partly why he was doing that whole look.
Yeah.
Okay, others can make a history check. See if they can actually identify some other features of that story.
Was I still able to do the occultism check?
This one's is the history's the skill anymore?
History is. I'm pretty sure it is.
I believe it is.
Is it history or
What
war?
does it sit under?
I think history might fall under recall knowledge now instead of other things.
Well, recall knowledge is different sections.
Yeah.
So
Is history an actual skill?
No.
Yeah, it's the annoying thing of trying to translate systems in my head.
yeah.
I read
Yeah,
one
yeah.
word and that
Law
word
is-
sticks.
Law
Fair
is
enough.
basically a history, but like it's specific histories.
Specific history.
Yeah. Because I could roll like a Cinderlands or a Sandpoint lore to see if I've heard any stories
I might go
in my regions.
go for Cinderlands.
Cinderlands lore? That's actually not too bad. Well, I've got that. Right, yes. 20, non-natural.
20 non-natural. Okay. A bladeless weapon is represented somewhere in your stories. You just don't recall the stories.
Mm-hmm.
You recall the theme.
So that's mine.
Does anyone else has any laws that might be appropriate?
Laws.
Yeah, law.
Was that a no to the occult roll then?
You could do an occult roll.
Okay. It's more just have a guess.
Do you have any laws that would be appropriate? You should have
I've
at
got
least two.
academia,
You got academia?
so lots of books.
I have warfare laws, that won't help.
So I've
Give me an
heard of
academia
stories
roll.
but can't remember
The specifics.
The specific, yeah.
23.
Okay, you have glanced at books over the years somewhere in the Pathfinder, not the Pathfinder, in the Cypher
Cypher's
Lodge
Mage, yeah.
that talks about a bladeless rapier.
Bladeless rapier. And I
But
just,
that-
I
that's
just know, I
not
just
your
know,
rule.
like I just basically skimmed over. Go bladeless rapier.
That's one of like 4,000 or 5,000 reference books you've looked at. But the thing is, you actually remember seeing something about it.
Whereas,
So
whereas
I
I've just
know-
got like sort of verbal lore from.
The Shoanti have tales of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Cove find blade with no blade.
Yes, it's
So what is
show
Troll
anti,
using?
not orc. Thank you very much.
Well, I was just trying to think about like
Cove find blade with no blade.
absent spirits, that sort of thing. Which is
Yep.
occultism.
Sure.
So I'm just confirming that's okay to make that roll.
Okay.
Okay. But if you're untrained, you add your level?
If you're untrained and use at your level.
Okay, right. And your skill?
At
Yeah.
a level and attribute.
Attribute.
You always say your
Attribute.
attribute.
Yeah. Okay, so That's a 13.
Okay, so you make up another bit of lore for them about this. This is what you believe is fact about this blade.
I was just curious about the
Was
spirits.
So make up this thing about how the spirits are related to this blade, and that is now absolutely true as far as
Can I also make an occultism roll?
Okay. Would you like to make something up as well?
Probably. I'm gonna create a debacle with Crawl about
Technically, I
this.
already did make it up because I said the Spirit Lance spell.
No,
separates-
yes.
But now you've tied it specifically into occultism.
Oh, okay.
That's what you don't hear
What is
occultism.
occultism?
Occultism is a sphere of magic. Like you've got primal, occultism, religious, and arcane. They are the 4 types of magic in this world.
Yeah.
And he's tied it directly to occultism.
Shit. So what's occultism in terms of magic school?
So if you think of warlock, witch, pact with creatures sort of spells, that's more of what occultism is. So as far as he's concerned, it's a pact with some higher being to rip people's souls out.
Seems legit.
So pact
be.
magic.
Could be.
Arcana is more about harnessing the power through study and ritual that allows you to make the most out of your own body, whereas religion's asking for the higher powers to help you, whereas nature is asking the spirit of the land to help you. So occultism is asking the spirits no one wants to talk to you to help you. Interesting.
I could see that. Yeah, sure. I could see that in terms of spirits are being summoned. It's got to be linked to spirits.
Mm-hmm.
25.
25. From what you can imagine, this has nothing to do with the spirits.
Nothing to do with spirits.
Yeah. Which is completely contradictory to what
I know. Whatever he makes up, I'm just like, nah, that's wrong.
But he's got so much evidence to back himself up. You know, case studies and all that sort of thing.
I don't know where I got those from.
Well, you know, all those things you've learnt over the years.
Cool. I'm guessing we've got as much as we can get out of this kid.
Mm-hmm.
Our next priority is finding this lady with the rapier with no blade.
Well, we know what gang
Why?
she's part of.
Because I want to die!
Listen, Parry's interested, so
I'm sure you are.
Parry's going to go head first into
Yeah.
the Pontius wherever Medugi's and say hello. Drinking teas with their pinkies out in their mismatched clothes.
But you don't know where they're...
I know.
So there are 4 gangs in town that you've heard of. The
Mhm.
Horned Fangs, the
Mhm.
Order of Resplendence, and the Road Keepers.
Yeah.
So the kid knows nothing about where they can be found.
No.
The barman might.
Either the barman or the governor.
Yeah, but why would the governor give that away?
Maybe the governor's turning a blind eye on stuff. So
Well, yeah, exactly. So why would she give that away?
we can make it worth a while.
Okay, give me a diplomacy roll, which is to gather information. And see how well you can gather information. And do you give out any money while you do this?
To the governor.
As
to-
you're asking around town.
Sure, I've got a little bit of money here and there.
Give us like a silver piece or something.
I've got the Chilex gold too.
You don't need gold to these bloody people. Just give them a silver piece.
Coppers.
I'll give him 2 silver.
Okay.
Jesus, that's what.
Might not be for the area.
If we're going by Riddleport standards, that's a lot. Considering most people were happy to receive a copper in Riddleport. You're an You're
Sorry, with a gang called the Gang of Resplendence.
we're this is another area that we don't want to advertise
And
that we
with-
have money.
That's from giving him 2 silver.
That's still advertising that we have more money.
Some money.
Well, some of the people here actually will have a fair bit of money because they
Like,
deal
they've got well established.
like they sell to the Overlord.
What? Yeah, they're in ties with the Overlord. And what do you reckon the bloody butcher is going to be making?
I reckon a silver piece would be fine, but not 2.
No, I'm going to. It's my choice.
Okay, so there's the DCs. They have very basic DCs for simple DCs.
No.
So you have untrained DCs normally around 10. A trained DC such as Talk of the Town. Common Rumour, which is trained, is about 15.
Yep.
Expert Obscure Rumour, Poorly Guarded Secret is about 20. Master Well Guarded or Esoteric Information about 30. Or Legendary Information known only to an incredibly select few or only to extraordinary beings is 40. So, I'm not telling you what the DC is on this one.
That's fine. So I've given the bartender. Well, starting with the bartender, aren't we?
Well, you end up spending 2 hours gathering information. Is
Okay.
roughly how long it takes for you to go around spreading money. So you spread the equivalent of 5 silver, or was that what you're saying?
No, he was giving 2 silver each,
silver?
and we were trying to argue against that. But it's up to
Well,
Barry.
it's over 2 hours. You spreading money around trying to get information.
Oh, okay. If it's over 5 hours.
At
then,
2 hours.
Over 2 hours, sorry. Then yeah, just a silver a person.
And how much do you give out?
Goodness me. Probably give out close to 3 gold worth. 'cause
Okay,
I'll be-
so 3 gold or silver.
Mhm.
And I will give you advantage on
That's
your
30
gather
people,
information roll.
Yes. I want to know.
So
It's
I'm giving
almost
him
like the whole
advantage for
town.
that because he's asked a lot of people.
This is the investigating that we're here to do.
Because success means he collects information about the individual or topic. Critical failure, you collect incorrect information about the individual or topic.
24.
24. Okay, and you're asking about the people of Resplendence?
Yes.
Okay. You do find out what happens with those people. You actually manage to get a critical success because it is a common rumor. DC 15. So you got 24. Yeah, I give a little wiggle room. So
But there was money involved.
Yeah, there was money involved.
so the order is based in Peacock Manor, just north of town,
Peacock Manor, yep.
which
Map.
Stefan knows on the map.
Yep.
And they're a group of scholars who share an interest in Varisian history. They've never been associated with violence, and their official stance on the slaughter is that troublemakers from Riddleport or Churlwood must be responsible. And at the moment, they have retreated to Peacock Manor for its safety and security, hoping that the people causing the kerfuffle will be brought to justice and they can safely walk the area again. It's known that Costella Rostrata is the founder of the order.
Interesting.
And most people find her eccentric but largely harmless.
Who wants to go to Peacock Manor?
Yeah, we can go there if need be.
Tommy.
I reckon we're going to go to Peacock Manor. Willie's like, I don't want to deal with the magic people.
It's more like anyone who's doing those things is going to eat us alive.
We're not going there to fight them, we're just investigating what's happening around.
Whereas, considering you've been offering out about stuff, you do find out about the Horned Fangs as well, because you were doing a lot of chasing around.
Okay.
The Horned Fangs are also, they're basically the talk of the town, so definitely got that one with a DC of 10.
Oh, yeah.
They are frustrated workers and struggling individuals from the lower class who are hoping to make it better for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And what you also pick up is Jana Gildersleeves, also known as Gold, is the gang's leader.
Mm.
And none of the gangs know the meaning behind the sign except the boss picked it up.
So Gold picked the Rune of Wrath.
Yeah.
No one knows why.
No one knows why, or even that's associated to the Rune of Wrath. That they've taken that as the Horned Fangs as their
So
symbol,
just-
she made it up.
As a rumor from the town, just by sheer chance, they've picked up a rune and gone, that looks cool, I'm going to sew that on my clothing.
And draw it everywhere.
And draw it everywhere.
So she's either been to Riddleport when she saw it light up.
The symbols are all over Varisia.
These are just runes.
Yeah. But
Like
like,
Runelord
it
runes,
would
which
make
can be
it would
everywhere.
make sense. Does the time she picked the symbol, was it before or after the rune lit up in Riddleport?
It's before.
Okay. So they've had that symbol for a while.
They've been using it for more than 2 years now.
Right.
So before the Wrath person was awakened. Interesting.
Or after, that might not be their awakening.
Yeah, maybe.
Or at least before the knowledge of the rune on the rune gate being lit up, at least.
Cool. I'm going to go get more information out of the Peacock Manor.
And the other thing you also hear about is the Rogue Keepers, which is the third gang.
Mm-hmm.
And they are bandits said to dwell in Churwood, believed to be responsible for most of the massacres of people killed by monsters in the forest, or to be keeping the town safe from said monsters. It's hard to tell with the rumours.
So that's in the forest. Though.
And
That's
they come from the forest where people die if they go there, and they seem to survive.
But as far as we're aware, the stories say they don't do anything in the town.
They rarely do stuff in town, but they are known as the Road Keepers because they exist on the road outside of town where no one goes at night. And they spend their time out there at night.
Interesting, cool. Might get some information out of there to see if there's anything that's been running out to the forest.
And they're normally not seen in town, which is why so little about them is known. They don't live in town, they rarely come to town. They've been showing up more frequently. The fact that they showed up the day before in numbers was a talking point.
Yeah, it was unusual.
That's interesting.
Were they the ones sauntering up to the old guy, or was that the...
They were the last group to show up.
Oh, they were the last group to show up.
Yeah.
Okay.
All three gangs rocked up.
Yeah, no. I just couldn't remember what order they showed up in. I know the colourful ones came second. But...
I'm going to go have a chat with the colourful ones.
Okay.
So I'm going to go to keep Peacock Manor, and then, if that's a dead end, hang around the outside of the town, near the forest.
Okay, so I'm going to ask everyone to make a will saving throw.
Oh, here we go again. Good stuff.
I do love having some handy open DCs. available. Just go, yeah, just choose that one.
Just do that. Do that thing.
Makes it so much easier.
Was it? Sorry, Will?
Will. Yeah. What everyone's good at.
Harry's good at it.
So what did
15.
15?
24.
22.
24.
Okay, Willie gets the chills.
Okay.
As you feel like you've just been thrown in the ocean midwinter.
Doof.
Okay.
It just hits you just like that.
Okay.
You actually start to turn blue in front of everyone.
I'll look around.
We all look at you.
That was weird.
Does he actually like start to shake
Yeah.
or
And turn blue.
and turn blue?
He looks as if he's just getting in the midst of getting frostbite.
Oh wow. You okay there, buddy?
I'm feeling cold for some reason.
Have a nip of this.
It's medicinal.
It is. Never mind the fact it's called, possum punch.
That is the name for it. Yeah. Because it has possum in the punch. Literally.
It'll warm you up from the bones.
All right. Well, where are we at the moment?
In the town, talking I think in the square, because that's where
In the
you
circle,
In the
yeah.
circle, yeah.
Okay. I have a quick look around, and where's the pub?
And when you're looking around, the coldness just passes, and you feel your skin start warming up again.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm feeling good now.
You head to the pub.
No. I go. Oh, I feel good. Okay. I don't need.
You do notice his colours start to return.
How's
The actual tips of his hair have ice on it.
that?
He's sort of brushing it away from the eyes as well.
I kind of want to know what just hit Willie. 21.
21. It's not a spell effect you know of. It's got nothing to do with Arcana. Not in that domain of things.
Wow.
It's not a spell. Or a spell-like effect. Interesting.
Okay.
So whatever it wasn't a spell I hear.
Yeah, I probably just started feeling cold for no apparent reason.
You a non-believer in ghosts, I
Well, I look around. Where the hell's the ghost? What are you talking about?
Okay, so you start wanting to head up to the
Peacock Manor.
Peacock Manor. Mm-hmm.
Because the kid says that there's a lady there who says they're part of the whatever of Resplendence. Blah, 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 blah. Has an invisible sword. Blah, blah, blah. Let's go say hi.
Okay. You start heading up that direction.
Mm-hmm.
You can see Peacock Manor in front of you. You're at the gates. I will give you a will saving throw for everyone again.
Oh.
Like you're
I'm gonna reroll that one, please.
Sure. There's one left.
One?
Yeah.
There's one left.
Most people turned up after time.
How many have we used today?
One.
I think there's I had it on one, so I must have forgot to turn it on people call. So I think you may have 3 left after this one then.
Because me and Josh got on here when it was
Peter was
green.
here.
Peter was green.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I didn't look at the light when people got here.
That's what I was saying.
Okay.
We haven't used
Okay.
any rerolls today,
I think
surely.
there
It is one.
there was
Yes.
3 of us here when the light changed.
a couple of us are thinking about it, but we never actually used them.
Yeah. That's better. 3.
22.
22.
12.
Well,
Yeah, see, mine would have been like an 8 otherwise.
okay, so apparently you're having this complex at the moment where first you were freezing, and now all you can hear in your ears are the terrorized cries of people drowning, while the sound of someone's sobs in your ears and moans.
Okay, my character stops and goes, I'm going back to town. Let me know how it goes. I turn around and I go back to town.
Okay.
All right.
But you were in town when the first
You're
one
at the
hit.
top of town.
That's okay. I go back to town. I go into the pub.
Yep.
Sit down and I go, pull out a carrot and start eating a carrot.
And you find yourself sitting next to a elf who just sort of looks your way remotely.
Uh-oh.
Remotely.
Oh, here we go.
Concrete?
No.
Oh.
But she hands you a drink, 'cause hopefully this will help you harden the fuck up. Repeating your words.
And I go,
With such a deadpan tone, you're just like, what?
sadly, it doesn't appear to have helped you, so I doubt it's going to help anybody else.
Woof.
Ouch.
Okay, while that war of emotions is going on,
In the far corner, we have.
you're not gonna beat a depressed chick, okay?
Well, maybe I can get her to top herself.
Ooh. I think that she hasn't done that after 300 years.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but she hasn't met Willie. You know how that is.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm sure Willie can, up the stakes.
I think it's a shotgun wedding if she's going to meet Willie. Don't worry about that.
What?
How many people is Willie going to marry?
All of
This will
them.
be the third.
Okay.
All of them.
All of them.
He either goes for the bait.
Sorry, I thought a Pathfinder.
Yeah.
Not wife.
He either goes for the catfish, the evil demon lady, or the depressed chick in the bar.
Well, all these interesting things do happen.
What
Willie's selection on girls is niche.
Very, very, very niche.
Very niche.
So you end up having a long conversation with the elf about absolutely nothing useful,
She talks and I just sit there.
which is how a conversation usually go.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
She's just currently talking about all the people she's buried in town, which is all of the people in town that have been buried. She's buried every single one of them.
So she's the mortician.
Technically.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
there's no one else with as much experience as her in burying people.
Isn't it just digging a hole and throwing their dead bodies in?
Parts of the dead bodies is the issue.
Yeah, but she's so used to
She's
it.
the only one that can actually handle picking up disembodied bodies and.
The disembodied. Sorry, the.
It stopped not long after you walked away from the gates.
Yeah.
No, but the bits and pieces that
That's
you
right, yeah.
have been burying.
Mm.
What kind of weapons or animals do you think have been tearing people apart?
Well, some have looked like they've been ripped apart.
Yep.
Just sheer strength.
Really?
Yep. Arms from their sockets.
So just torn off.
Yeah.
So no teeth, no claws, effectively just.
Bruising, but nothing else.
Okay, that's interesting.
You does it with two hands.
Okay, so my character is actually interested in that stuff.
And she describes you a whole lot of horrific ways people have died over the years, with detail. She can't tell you who the people were or anything more about the people, but I can tell you all about their injuries.
My character's interested. Okay.
Harry's
Useful
intrigued
information.
because this is the second time of us walking towards this Peacock Manor that we've been hit by.
Well, none of you
Well,
felt
sorry,
it.
so none of us felt it. However, something's hit
Willie.
Willie,
And Willie's left again.
and he's left.
He's like, no, I'll continue on. Nah, fuck this.
The cold touch is fine. The hearing voices, that's where he draws the line.
Okay, now that Willie's there, I'll get everyone else to make a will save
Yeah,
after
yeah.
Willie left you all.
Again?
Yeah.
Have we gone through the gate, or we still
As you touch the gate.
as we touch the gate?
Oh, Jesus. Oh.
Okay.
How did Kroll do?
20.
21.
Can I use another?
You can avoid all the interesting things happening to you if you
Yeah.
like.
Oh no, but this is gonna be awful.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
You'll
go
be
on.
fine.
It's nearing endish.
So if there's one left, you may as well.
I think there's 3 now.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, I don't want to die today, thanks.
You're not gonna die.
I literally rolled a 1.
You'll just hear, like, you know,
No, she's
horrible
not gonna.
voices of
Yeah, no.
everyone you ever killed.
I don't want to
It's,
die.
it's gonna be horrifying whatever you hit.
No.
Okay.
And roll for Puppy too.
Oh, poor Bobby.
That's better.
That's Puppy's roll.
Alright, well in that case, Poppy gets...
20 something.
And Kroll gets to roll for his Puppy too.
Oh, okay.
24 Poppy.
I don't even know what
And how much your
base
actual reroll?
is.
If you want to know a level 1 DC, I can give it to you. I presume it'll be the same. Or thereabouts.
Oh, no, you've done for Poppy, so
No,
Well, no, as in-
for Crawl's
Because I don't know what puppies.
well, basically
stats are.
just add +2
Oh, okay.
because really it's a baby.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say the will save is +4 on a level 1 dog.
It's not even considered a level
And
1.
not even
puppy at
considered
this
level
point.
1. Okay.
Easy, poopy.
Yeah, so 2 is reasonable, I guess.
It's basically a puppy that's still teething.
Yeah,
Yep. All right.
newborn.
Yeah, I should have left that puppy behind. Oh,
So what to get?
I got 20. Puppy got 10.
No, I'm not dead, but
Sorry,
I'm definitely not happy.
What did you get?
17.
17.
That's not your
Okay.
puppy's name.
So while you managed to do okay, unfortunately Tan left a stain.
Yep. Okay.
Apparently, whatever he ate just recently didn't agree with him because it's all down your leg.
Oh.
Okay.
Something about human broth, not quite so good for dogs.
And his hair's sort of sticking up in every direction at once.
I'll pet her.
As you're just looking at it, and Puppy's sort of looking at you as you sort of look around you, as only you see this, and a certain puppy that's dropping everything. You're completely surrounded by mists of figures moving towards you.
Ooh, great.
Jeez.
Looking like that, trying to tell you something.
And do I understand what they're saying? Or
No, you didn't roll that low.
Oh.
You didn't critically fail.
Oh, okay. I
That
could
would have
have.
been funny!
I could have, but no.
You had the dead people if you took your one.
No.
Or the figures
It wasn't a
anyway.
critical fail, so you didn't actually experience the full effect.
Yeah.
You got a partial effect.
I really didn't want to get frightened again after the last Pokemon.
Alright, so now they've gone.
So I'm just like heebie-jeebied out with like all these ghost things.
Whatever it is, it's here.
And basically, it's all the figures you see are looking to the east, away from the battle.
The east. So I face that way. What's out? Pardon me. What's out that way?
Crow looks at his stuff.
Should be the not the sawmill. No,
It is the sawmill and the wreck.
and the wreck. Okay,
Oh, the shipwreck.
it's the Roderic's wreck, home of the town founder.
This is like they're all looking that way.
What are looking that way?
Misty people.
What misty people?
Yeah. And when you're describing it, they disappear.
Just like looks around like. You guys didn't see that?
Nope.
Nope.
They're all scary looking and talking, but I couldn't understand what they were saying.
Nope. Are you okay, Dooza? Did that possum punch hit you too hard?
No, I haven't had any more of that.
Well, down that way is the sawmill, and Roderic's wreck.
Well, ghosty looking people, similar to what you described, the scary ghost that frightened us yesterday, were all looking that way.
But they hit you. You had the effect here.
Yes.
Maybe that's
When,
why-
after you touched the gate.
After we all touched the gate.
Did we all touch it, or did one person touch it?
You're sort of it's a big gate, so you're
Trying to
all
push
over
it.
together.
Oh, okay, right, yeah. Sorry. So after we
Think
touched
big
the
mana gate.
Right,
Is that
okay,
where
yeah.
Willie ran?
No, really ran itself back to town.
So,
Yeah, but I was asking them, is that why Willie ran there?
if we don't get the answers that we want here, we'll follow your ghostly figures towards the sawmill and the wreck.
Dudes is like, have you known me to lie? Why would I lie about that?
Yes. No. So what's your flat deception?
13.
I critically succeed on sense motive.
Yeah, you know she's not lying.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah, like, why would I be bothered to lie about something like that?
I got a 26.
Yep.
Well, I mean, if we can't venture further into here for whatever reason, we can always head back out that way.
Well, so did we touch the gate and then, like, let it go? Or did Jesus just let it go.
Well, you let it go while they were touching the fence. Well, Kroll also let it go because Poppy was, leaving a mess.
Yes.
Tan was leaving
I
a
have
mess
to-
everywhere.
Parry's still pushing.
I've
It's locked.
timid mess.
It's locked.
Mm-hmm. You can actually see a chain on the other side and a padlock.
Jesus is like, I'm not touching that again. Not at night, anyway.
And it's now full nightfall.
Full nightfall.
Yep, no
No
lights
lights
around you at
on.
all. No lights you can see inside. Few lights from town.
Jesus is like, I don't know if I'm
Especially from the smokers nearby.
We'll go back to the inn
Mm.
and report today's findings to...
Okay, you see Willie in deep conversation with an elf, actually seeming like he's interested in what she's saying.
Oh!
And as you get closer, you hear about how many different ways a body can be killed over the years.
Interesting. Starts adding to the biography. No, creates a new book. 101 Ways to Mutilate a Body.
101 Ways to Die in Riddlebook.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Kroll decides to take Tan home
Mm.
and
To your home?
Yep, and tend to.
You can
the
see
mess.
Quick Quest sort of trying to go through boxes here with his feet in the air as he's looking in boxes. The ones he told people not to touch.
That's fine. I expected him to do that.
Ah, yes, the runes.
the explosive runes, mind you.
Yeah.
That's fine. If we hear boom, we know
No
questions.
boom today, boom tomorrow.
Yeah.
So how'd you guys go?
I
Very-
saw ghosty people,
Oh,
and
did you?
they were all looking towards a ship.
Really?
My question is, what made you back off?
I'd had enough. I just wasn't interested, so I came back here.
Can I do a perception on that?
I'm not
No.
lying.
Well, yeah, and you're not lying
you
that
felt
you've
you
had
had enough
enough.
for the day?
Yeah.
You didn't
I failed 2 saves, I'd had enough.
You didn't we saw you get cold.
Yeah.
Did you experiencing anything else when?
Are you asking me that?
Yeah.
Yes, because I've got information from Duzar
From
saying
this.
that.
Well, I don't know. Would you say
Kick back.
getting the shits is experiencing something?
Some people, yes.
I need details.
Okay, I really got the shits.
Well,
and she sort of...
your bright, sparkly pants aren't brown, so
Yeah, they are. They're very stained. What are you talking about?
There's not enough room for it to hold anything.
If you're asking, do I think I was affected by some form of influence, the answer is yes.
yes. So, did you see anything?
Nope. I heard.
You
and I
heard.
explained.
So you felt and you heard,
Well, I felt.
and Duzar states that she saw
Mm-hmm.
and heard.
He. Go away.
Interesting.
Now that you're all sitting down and talking, I'll give you another will save.
Oh my
Kroll misses out on this one.
Oh, okay.
We're diving deeper into the.
Home clean. Tan.
Well, they are investigating further, so they get a few more things following them.
18.
17.
20, not natural.
Okay. So, this time even you experience it.
Wow.
DC went up with each one.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. All of you are witnessing a boat out on the water with what appears to be a family, where you seem to be feeling it's your family. As a storm hits,
Boat's not big enough, sorry.
and well, the thing is, your
I know.
personal feeling is it's your family
Yes, yeah.
because you feel you're experiencing someone's memories
Mm-hmm.
and emotion of the memory.
Mm-hmm.
And then it quickly goes dark as a storm happens, and you witness the screaming and drowning of wife and children
Wow.
right before you,
Mhm.
where you're unable to do anything to save them.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Shit.
And yeah, and basically it is quite a horrifying event for you. You sort of sitting there looking at each other. Moments later, all of your hairs are sticking out at the moment.
Mm.
Oh, do I have to do another one for my dog?
Your dog doesn't get that emotion.
He doesn't get it?
No. Unfortunately, the other one was visual. These ones were emotive.
Right, okay.
And really putting the emotive, and the emotive doesn't work as well on animals and beasts with more intelligence.
Yep.
Which is a benefit.
I just thought I'd ask.
Mm.
So yes. The elf sort of looks at you and goes, "Oh, I see you might need a stiff drink. Is it more of that concrete you asked for earlier?"
You're not fucking funny.
She wasn't laughing.
Juicer probably stifles a laugh at your
Parries
expense.
in it too.
But she orders you a whiskey and says, "Maybe it's not as hard as you're used to, but who knows, it might work the trick."
Interesting.
And then she goes back to describing death and dismemberment to you.
I'm not really listening to her at the moment. But
So
yes, once the whiskey gets here, I'll drop it in one shot.
It's actually quite good whiskey.
That's good, and I probably don't taste it. I just.
You do feel warm and tingly all over though.
Yeah.
Um,
That's what I'm after.
And your hair sort of goes. Takes until you drink the whiskey for it to happen.
I'm thinking that with what you've described, the freaked out hair thing isn't something that's likely to impact my character. It's more the fact of the emotion of having lost your family.
yeah.
And
My character actually wiped away tears, and he's just kind of sitting there, waiting for the emotions to go.
And with the hair going down, the emotion just slides off as well. But it was a horrifying thing to happen.
My character did not enjoy that.
No, I don't think any of our characters enjoyed that.
Juice is like, what's the ocean? What's a boat? I probably know what boats are.
I mean,
Well, you've been on them.
I know, but I've never had like a family or anything like on boats, like traveling, that kind of thing. I don't think. Anyway.
But that's not the thing.
No, I know, but
So you probably would have been still smacked with the emotion.
I would have been stuck with the emotion, but then like more like critically thinking afterwards, like why am I so distressed over that when like our culture or like the culture I'm from doesn't really, I guess, have that kind of experience.
You do have loss of family and family units.
Yeah, like we have the loss of family, but to lose it in like that way, like in a storm in a sea.
Well, you've lost them in the sandstorms and
Right, so
winter
I'll be able to relate it
storms
more to
and,
that.
Yeah.
hailstorms. So you can relate it to the fact of loss during a storm while traveling is something that is something that you can relate immediately to.
Okay.
Except for on the water is the only odd thing for you.
Parry
Yeah.
rushes to the front of the inn, flings the door open, and checks out into the. Because he would have been really hit hard by this, because being from Riverport.
And sailing and all that being
Yeah.
part of
Oh,
the
yeah.
national thing.
Yeah.
Looking outside, it's just dark everywhere. Except for this really bright house down the end there somewhere, where someone set off some sort of firework. And wandered there for the night.
Quest!
Hey, I'm busy cleaning tan, so don't blame me.
In fact, it's probably 10 who set off the firework.
What? I'm busy
Found
cleaning
some chew toy on the ground.
No.
Explosive.
She knows not to chew on runes.
You don't know that, neither's your puppy.
I'm telling myself that it's fine.
Wasn't me, I didn't do it, had nothing to do with it.
As long as you keep telling yourself it makes it fine, right?
And you're able to piece together that the pitch you saw was the screams you heard earlier.
That shouldn't as much.
Interesting.
Because it was the same sounds coming in scenes.
What kind of? It was just like a rowboat.
Sailboat.
Small sailing ship.
Small stuff.
Yeah, one person can control. Basically, they would have been, they would have all died faster if you let go of the boat. Because one person has to be in control of it or it sinks.
Yeah.
And they went overboard.
Okay.
So,
It wouldn't have been. It wouldn't be big enough to constitute a block.
no, but his house was called a wreck.
Okay.
I think they're using wrecked as a generalized term for something that's like not usable anymore.
But for me, it was more if it was a large enough ship that, you know, if it was to smash on the rocks on the beach or something, it would be something that would last for a while, as opposed to say a
Small thing that would
captain's boat or something, or a
It's interesting. Well, with the gates locked at the Peacock Mansion, and with what Dooza has told the party about their visions and pointing east,
Well, and then we've all had this boat experience.
I think that we're going to be heading east.
And from the Shoanti upbringing, that's basically the equivalent of fortune telling and speaking with the spirits telling you stuff.
So they're giving us guidance almost. Yeah.
Well, there was spiritual stuff, just in completely different spots.
Exactly.
Yeah.
See?
It's all related, all related.
It's interesting because I still think it's linked to. As much as they're guiding us towards the wreck, I still think it's. Parry still thinks it's linked to the Peacock Mansion, and
definitely.
whichever leader, Lady Pompous herself,
Yeah.
it's linked to her as
She
well.
might be able to out-pump Parry.
Oh. Pompathon.
No one can out.
If I had to guess, I'd
Is this
say
challenge accepted?
there's some weird shit going on in the mansion that
And Parry's not invited. What the hell?
that the local spirits don't like, and they're attempting to provide us a heads up on what's going on prior to us going and trying to stop what's going on.
In terms of, yes, I agree. The spirits are being disturbed with whatever
Yep.
doodad Miss Pompous herself is wielding or throwing or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to get more information searching
Yep.
either the sawmill or the wreck. And I reckon we'll probably find out, or Parry's hoping to find out, what is disturbing these people so much in those two areas.
Well, they have latched, whatever it is, has latched onto the party.
Yeah.
And it's happened around Parry every time.
So we need to get rid of Parry. Yeah.
Good
makes
luck
sense.
getting rid of the Buffers wizard, Narrative
Over the cliff. In the water.
Featherfall.
No matter how many times he dies, he keeps coming back. Oh, it's like his family.
Just like his
We'll get rid of Parry 1, but there'll be Parry
Yeah,
2.
Parry 2. Next time you come back as a dwarf. Or an orc or some shit.
Well, he's already part dwarf. He's part dwarf, part elf. Wait,
I'm
I'm
gonna-
come back as next.
I'm gonna come back as a tiefling with glowing blue eyes.
Getting flashbacks, man.
And then wear a little pretty dress
Yes.
with little bow ties.
And then hum and sing.
as you skip through rooms.
Yep. Because apparently someone's no longer in the inn.
I'm very surprised we haven't heard humming.
Yeah.
After our visions, just hearing.
Well, Kroll, after doing that, Kroll's just going to do that every now and again, just in case she
I'm
wants her to
leaving
appear.
now.
just to, you know. Because he knows she's... Well, half the time she was always watching just on the corner or on your, like, peripheral vision. So you couldn't quite see her, but it's like, I could have sworn, or, you know.
Yes, Kroll, we don't care. Go do your business.
And
I'm going for a long walk.
perhaps a certain little someone would visit in the meantime.
If you hear my screams, the blue-eyed devil got me.
Yeah. I think,
Well, that doesn't mean she can't send one of her sisters.
Yeah,
I
that's true.
know.
and I think as well she said she wanted to interact with the rest of you. And Kroll knows this, so he's like, shit, okay, now I need to make myself scarce every now and again so she has time to actually interact with you guys.
Okay, so I'm going on to end credits.